Hello, welcome back to Pen and Sword, an extremely professional Dungeons and Dragons actual play show. We're back. Yes, we are. Last we were together, immediately I'm starting to talk. Recap.
So that we can't.
That's right. I'm not letting you. They all
Cut
have
us
so
off.
much to say. I never let them. You had all just finished meeting and catching up with Anzu and Celine, filling them in on some of what you'd learned in the time since you last met in person. From there, you went to spend the evening in Nimra's apartment and to take the chance to wind down a bit before your planned travel back to Emon. During your stay, Melancholy took Celiana outside to apologize for what she'd done, stabbing and whatnot that might have happened while you were all staying with Haster, which went well enough between them, but for some reason, encouraged Huxley to suggest you all stage an elaborate dinner date for them the moment they get back inside. Something about not being the last one to notice this time, or something. Rick made dinner for them and the rest of you, improvising what he could from the unique ingredients in Nimra's home, while the rest of you hid away or, at a certain point, just left to do your own thing for a brief moment. Though by the end of it, Melancholy was drunk and everyone was fed? Maybe. Depends on whether or not you accepted the above
No, they
average slop.
very clearly, everybody did not eat my slop.
I was
Rick
being
was
nice,
the only
but yes,
one who ate it.
It's true.
You went to a coffee
No.
shop.
Melancholy ate it.
Oh, did you? Okay, I don't remember that. I probably because never mind.
It's okay. Somebody ate it, which is what counts. The
I
next
very
morning,
clearly cleaned up 3 dishes that still had.
that is
full
true.
food on
At least
them.
3 people didn't eat. That's true. That I do remember. The next morning, you gathered together and had Nimra teleport you finally to Emon, where you finally returned to Gilmore's Glorious Goods to pick up the iron flask you'd arranged for between Sean Gilmore and Anzu, though Sean himself was unfortunately not going to be in until the next day, so your conversation with him about other matters would have to wait. You gathered up your magical items, paid for you by Haster, and in discussing where to go after that, Huxley mentioned possibly reaching out to Allura Vysoren, just as she reached out to him. She requested to see you in the office she keeps at the Alabaster Lyceum, as she had some devilish concerns to raise with you. Now, having arrived at her office, been allowed in, and the door shut behind you, the arcanist of the Council of Taldore sits behind her desk. A mess of papers is strewn atop it, and the wrinkles of age on her face are enhanced by the wrinkles incurred by a face twisted into an expression of concern and stress, though you wouldn't note as much in any other facet of her demeanor. And she looks to each of you a moment after having previously led with the mention that there is a fiendish presence. There has been a fiendish presence found underneath the city, before going back in and continuing to speak. It was recent, this presence. Not much over the last several days. I would have reached out immediately, but I wanted to both confirm and ascertain the extent to which, the severity. I've been keeping tabs on any sort of fiendish presence in the city in general, since you all told me about the devils that attacked you when you were going after Kraith for your key. Nothing really came up until over the last couple of days. A fiendish presence was detected here at the Lyceum, briefly, though nothing came of that. No fiends were found on the premises. It was sort of a pick-up part of a security sweep. The Cobalt Soul do as much regularly, and we also have certain protections in place, as you might expect of a place of higher arcane learning. Though, like I said, nothing came of it. Though, secondly, much more concerning me, really, reports came in from some Ashari contacts I have in Pyra. Fiends beneath the city. Pyra, similar to Zephyra, not far from Western, is home to specifically the Fire Ashari. I'm not sure how familiar you all are with the Ashari and their customs, their ways, but generally there are several different groups of Ashari who each tend to a rift to a certain elemental plane. Zephyra is home to the Air Ashari, who manage the Air Elemental Rift, and Pyra to the Fire Ashari for the Fire Elemental Rift, as you'd imagine. Over the last 2 decades or so, since the Chroma Conclave's takeover, the Ashari and Pyra have managed the damage done by Thordak. Yeah, Thordak was an immensely powerful red dragon, and one that was, for a time, kept trapped in the elemental plane of fire. And in his death, and in his life, during his control of the city, he seeped a sort of elemental corruption into the land, in the city and around it. The Fire Ashari have done laudable work containing it and pushing it back and repairing it and healing the land around it, though there is still a scar on that land, and especially beneath Emon, where Thordak fell and where he spent much of his time here. That corruption, that taint, lingers. And what on the surface and around the city has been repair, healing, underneath the city has mostly been containment more than anything else. They regularly traverse the catacombs, caves, pits beneath the city and deal with rogue and stray elementals and do what they can to repair the damage, but are mostly just pushing it back. And it was recently that the contact I have in Pyra informed me that they have started to run into fiends down there, devils specifically, which naturally reminded me of what happened to you. Though unconnected, naturally I shared a concern. I figured I would reach out. So far, I haven't heard too much yet. They were first met with a surprise attack that killed several of their number, but they have managed to retaliate just a bit. They haven't pushed too far in from where they first encountered these devils, and as far as I know, are waiting on reinforcement from Zephyr before doing so. But the current fear is some sort of portal or rift to the Nine Hells has somehow opened in this space, somewhere in the caverns, that's allowing these things through. But very little is known as of yet, so I figured I would ask you. Have you dealt with devils further since your encounter with Kraith? Have they been a problem? Do you know if this might be at all related? I figured it wouldn't hurt to reach out, so...
Well,
We've had a couple of encounters since then, I think.
You think?
Uh,
Wouldn't you know
I'm
if you've encountered
surprised.
devils?
I'm surprised you haven't noticed the lack of bodies in the reserves.
Well, I have noticed all the movement in the last... What is it? What is it? I asked myself. It's been 2 days?
2 days.
Or 3? 2 days, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. In the last 2 days, though I haven't had a chance to speak with him, I mean, work on the council has kept me quite busy. This is a brief moment I had to meet with you. hoping you. If you weren't in the city, I wouldn't have even had the chance. I couldn't have waited for you. Why do you mention that? Is all this movement in the reserve here, does that have to do with devils as well?
Above table, before answering, are we cool with Nimra spilling the beans?
Rick was about to as well. But
So then I think the two of them would maybe, for Nimra, in a moment of social norms and clarity, would take a look at the rest of the party and actually probably see most of the people looking back at them, and would motion for Rick to speak.
the lack of cobalt bodies, as it were, is due to a need to reinforce an archive in. Remind the player, Western?
Western, yeah.
The lack of cobalt bodies in the area is due to a necessary reinforcement of the archive in Western. There was a rather large attack, and we happened to be there, touching base with some of the archivist's contacts when said attack occurred.
A large scale attack by devils.
Yes, if I may, I am worried that it might have been coordinated. This attack by the devils, the Ashari of Pyra. You said they fought back, beat back in a surprise attack. When did that occur?
As far as I know, sometime, I think, before noon yesterday, they first encountered them, and by this morning, they had sort of entrenched a position, like I said, are waiting for reinforcements. Yes. So this was in the last couple of days, which, if, as you say, they attacked the reserve 2 days ago, I suppose it isn't too far of a stretch to assume this might be connected. Now, then I naturally must ask, do you know why it might be connected? What would the attack on the reserve, how would that have led them to start, well, I mean, I don't know, exploring underneath Emon? We don't know what they're doing. They attacked some Ashari, the Ashari pushed them back in a holding position, but they aren't moving up. They haven't started leaking into the city. We don't, as far as we know, they appeared down there, but we don't have eyes on. We don't know what they're doing. If you have any idea what they might be doing, it would be very good to know.
The honest truth is that we have absolutely, and pardon my undercomment, fucking idea what they want or what they are doing. We have so many theories, none of which are rooted in anything concrete. You are a busy woman. We do not want to distract you with fairy tales, but it would seem that these two attacks are connected. And if I had to guess, it might have something to do with the rotting of the land that you were talking about. If Thordak was scorching the earth, perhaps the Hells are interested in whatever power might be left behind.
And this attack on the reserve that you mentioned you were present for, what were they there for? Do you know?
This is when we
Yes.
figure out above table how much we want to say.
I mean, weren't we going to talk to Allura anyway
Yes, we were.
regarding
About the scroll
artifact.
again?
Yes.
So I don't think there's any problem with talking to her about what was taken.
No.
It's
To
just
be
good to
cl-
have everybody on the same page.
Yeah. To be clear, right? You can see it, right? When she says what was taken, there's sort of a shift on Rick's face, right? When he's talking about combat, he's talking about security, right? There's a certain level of confidence. He's picking his words carefully, but you can tell that he's fine with this. When we start to get to the idea of academic and like scrolls and what was taken, all of a sudden there's sort of a shift, right? It's the head of security taking a step back when they start talking business, right? It's kind of like there were manuscripts, scrolls, information taken from the archive.
And she'll look to you, Nimra, and just sort of like kind of expectantly like, are there specifics, or just do you know what exactly was taken?
How familiar are you with the existence of the Astral Scrolls?
You notice like an immediate shift in her expression. Like she was like stressed when you came in here. Now she's like really stressed. Like it's like it looks like it aged her an extra 10 years in the moment hearing that, right? Like
Poor woman.
She's still seated, right? And she's like kind of just like occasionally like on her hand, or like mostly just kind of like sitting back listening to you guys. And you say that and she's kind of like you know, rubs her eyes a bit and sort of sits back and just, I am familiar with the scrolls.
Well,
the whole ordeal with them when the soul discovered them in the possession of someone and went through the effort of taking them into safekeeping. I know a bit about them. The High Curator at the Reserve and I and a couple of others worked a bit to try and decipher them, to little avail. Though what we did glean from them, the writings of a madman, ultimately. I know there was some consideration, some plans when they were first taken in to go visit this Astral's tower, wherever it is. I think south of Stilben, somewhere around there, in the swamps on that side of the continent. But I don't know if they ever went through with it. I unfortunately couldn't aid with it. I let them know to reach out to me if and when they needed my help with whatever they might find, but I don't recall if that was ever done or anything of the sort. Though, if a group of devils assaulted the largest Cobalt Soul Reserve archive on the continent and made off with these scrolls, and was it just the Astral Scrolls, nothing else?
that is
Out the death of many. They made off with plenty of lives in exchange for the scrolls.
and now they are under your city.
Yes, it seems so.
I am not the smartest person, but even I can make that connection.
The only thing I can see is that something in the scrolls pointed them here. Though for what? I have no idea. Unless, well, I don't know. That's what makes logical sense to me. The timing seems to work. If this is connected, coordinated, which it must be, to successfully pull off an attack on a place like the reserve takes effort. If they are connected, the fact that they got the scrolls and the next day they were here, I need to. Well, I don't know. It might be best I can reach out to people, see if they might have been spotted elsewhere in a similar time frame. But I still don't. Even if that is the case, if I'm spot on, I have no idea what they could be here for. Those caves are a mess, a lattice work of caverns, and filled to the brim with rogue hostile elementals and roiling elemental magic. From what I remember of the scrolls, I don't see why that would matter. What they would want there. But I'm not exactly an expert on them.
Well, I am no magical expert either, but these scrolls are extremely important in terms of arcane knowledge, yes?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
And there is, if I am to be understanding correctly, a lot of power underneath this city. That is where, how you said, Thordak rested. It is not inconsequential in terms of arcane energy.
Perhaps not. There is, like I said, quite a high concentration of specifically fire elemental magic there. By Thordak's nature, what he left behind is a sort of twisted, tainted kind of elemental magic. Specifically of his flavor. He was a red dragon. Fire fits. But I mean, there's plenty of places where they could go for a concentration of elemental fire magic. Pyra itself is a place, the elemental plane of fire. Why here specifically? I haven't the faintest.
Nor do I. But they have chosen this place. You said you have connections with the Ashari of Pyra, or
Yes.
perhaps. I think we need to get to the place where Thordak fell. I think the information, or at least some information, awaits us there. Can you provide any aid, or perhaps a guide of some sort that can get us there swiftly? Perhaps ahead of these devilish forces.
Well, the Ashari know the way there. There's a bundle of them held up where they last encountered the devils. I can point you on the way to them. That would be the fastest way. Otherwise, you're liable to get lost down there.
And that would be not great.
No.
Well, if you could make the introduction, I would greatly appreciate it. I find myself quite curious and would very much... Okay, I'm going to be entirely honest with you. I really just kind of am looking for a fight, and I'm kind of hoping that I can beat them to wherever they're headed. I'm sorry, I can't... He turns to the rest of the group. I am really trying here to be like smoking daggers, but I'm just not...
It's
Really?
You're doing a good job. I'm
is-
convinced.
It is...
It's a pleasure to meet you, by the way. We haven't met
Oh,
before.
yes, of course.
And she kind of holds out a hand to you. Allura Vysoren.
He goes to shake her hand and pauses for a second with a name on the tip of his tongue, and then stops and goes, Ricotta. Of Ricotta's Cheese Emporium. If you are ever interested.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of a coy, playful smile on his face, right? Realizing that there was a tense moment and he's trying to break it.
I mean, when she takes your hand, like you say that, she's cheese. Do you sell cheese?
I do in fact sell cheese. Yes.
What sort of cheese?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. He pulls out samples.
And she'll take a couple, and she'll try one. And oh my goodness, Kima would love these. Can I have a couple?
Oh, absolutely. Is Kima your daughter?
No, my wife.
Your wife?
My wife, yes.
Well,
she's a fan of cheeses. We both are, really. It's good. This isn't really. We'll circle back on this. I think.
Of course,
that would be good.
more important things, right?
Once the devils are dealt with, remind me to ask you about the cheeses.
Of course.
Now,
Allura.
right? Yes.
What use exactly is a soul anchor? Is it useful for multiple things or
So like you
just
see, she locks in immediately. She's like, "What? A soul anchor is, as the name would imply, an anchor to a soul. Are you? Well, I mean, no sense beating around the bush. Is this to do with the one we used to contain Thordak in the first place? Does that have to do with any of this?
Rick just nods.
And she
They might be making a play for his soul anchor.
That's not likely. It was
Why?
destroyed, shattered, millions of pieces. It was no small thing. Thordak was an enormous creature, massive, and the soul anchor itself embedded in his chest. It was no small piece of rock either. When he was killed, it was shattered, destroyed.
Well, if it was as big and powerful as you say it was, would that not mean that even a small piece could carry immense power?
Perhaps. I suppose.
There is also no saying that it might not be fixed. It might be repairable.
Is gravely concerning. A soul anchor is not an easy thing to come by. That would be, I mean, if there's anything to look for down there, I suppose that's something. Though what exactly they might use it for, that still escapes me. Besides attempting to put it back together to anchor another soul, though that's not exactly how these things work. Typically, when any sort of artifact imbued with magical power is destroyed, that magic is lost. Repairing it wouldn't bring that magic back. It would need to be remade as if from scratch. Although perhaps, like you said, maybe the pieces carry some sort of lingering resonant energy magic. The land does, from what he did. I suppose it isn't a stretch to think that the crystal, the anchor, might still carry shards of its power, or his power. It was in him for a long time. He was in the plane of fire for a long time. Well, one thing at a time. Let me let me reach out to the Ashari. Let them know. Are you staying anywhere in the city?
I don't think. Or I don't think we even got a room. I think we like teleported here, went straight to
Yeah,
Gilmore. We don't
yeah,
have.
Yeah,
a
it's
we
in the
just
same
got
day.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got here. Okay, all right.
Or is there? I mean, I'm asking mostly for a rendezvous point, so I can tell them where to meet you.
Have you a teleportation circle or any diagrams of one that we might be able to utilize to get to Pyra? I can.
Well, you wouldn't be going to Pyra. If you want to get to where Thordak was, you're going downstairs now. The Ashari are here. They work to contain
I misunderstood
the
that.
stuff
That's
here.
fine.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, they're in
Uh,
the Undercity.
Yes. Yes, Pyra's a bit of a way away, but the Fire Ashari that were currently working here are still here. So I can ask one of them to come fetch you.
We
Oh,
don't.
we skipped Lamia last time.
You did, yeah.
Wouldn't hurt to go back.
Yeah, why don't
Yeah.
we have history at the Laughing Lamia? Why don't we head over there and we will wait for your contact?
That works. I'll let them know to go to the Lamia as quickly as possible. I'll let you know if there's going to be any sort of delay, but otherwise, expect them soon. I'll reach out now. Is there anything else that wasn't mentioned? Anything else you might know? Covering my bases.
Listen, you have more information than we are usually comfortable sharing. As I said, none of this is concrete. We are, how you say, grasping at straws. We are weaving stories and hoping we are right.
An adventurer's wariness. I can't fault you for it, I suppose. All right. I'll reach out to the Ashari. Like I said, I'll let you know if there's a delay of some kind, but if not, you should expect them to meet you there as soon as possible. I'll implore the urgency.
Thank you, Miss Vysoren.
Of course. Hopefully this is all a coincidence, and it's easier to deal with than we're worried about, though I suspect it won't be, but optimism is
Yes, optimism. Naive optimism, oftentimes best situation. It's very clear from his face he doesn't believe that.
And she'll kind of stand and sort of like kind of wave her hand, sort of sort out the papers that she's got and kind of pile them up in a little stack and take them in her hands. I must go speak with the other council members in case things are more severe than we anticipate. I'll let you know what happens. And she'll kind of wave for the door to open and sort of wait for you all to head out before heading out herself.
Great. Little out of character, Rick might be the first one through the door rather than the last one, like he usually is. With a little bit more pace than he usually walks. There's a sort of a sense of excitement in his pace and in his gait. And he probably gets halfway down the hallway before he realizes that he's left the party behind and sort of like takes a moment to like stop and wait for them to catch up.
You did really good, Rick. You seemed incredibly professional, if you ask me. Like you've been doing this all your life.
Oh, the P word, that is... I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. I'm trying. Okay? This is... I punch things, right? I stab things with sharp objects. This is... I had 50 years of being a cheesemonger. That is where that comes from. But I don't know how to have conversations about, like, real shit. You know?
I mean, you got the cheese in there, though. That's business, baby.
Always-
You're selling it.
Yeah,
You're
that's
really
what-
merchandise.
A really slick plug.
That's right.
See, Aggie says you don't have to actually know what you're talking about. You just have to look like you do.
That's so true. Oh my god, I fuck with Aggie like crazy. That's so true. Just completely bullshit your way through everything.
I mean, at least it sounds like there will be punching and stabbing soon.
Yes, I am quite excited.
Are we excited for that? Last time that did not go well.
Depends on how you look at it.
We are substantially more prepared this time.
That's fair.
And if our information is to be believed, there was only one of those little metal friends.
Yeah, right. There should not be another killer robot there to kill us. Dead. Hopefully. So.
And just to be clear, just because I want to be absolutely 100% no confusion. When I start to talk, you all more than feel welcome to jump in and stop me, yes?
You were doing so good, though. I was like, yeah, sell that cheese, bitch. Like, I was so on your side.
The cheese part was easy. It was all the...
Yeah.
How much do we let loose without seeming like we're being cagey thing that...
Oh, were we doing that? I thought we were just spilling the... I mean, we like told her pretty much everything, didn't we?
Yes, after much poking and prodding and slow trickling of info... You were...
Because we're being mysterious.
Rick's gonna walk over to Melancholy and like take a knee so that he's down a little bit lower.
I'm not that short anymore.
Melancholy. I know, but he's 8 feet
He is
tall.
really tall, yeah.
Yeah, he's very tall. He's gonna come down so that he's a little bit more on Melancholy's level. Melancholy,
Yes.
by your own admittance, you were part of a spy organization, and
Yeah.
you were a
still am.
bard who trickled information. Do you not understand how... You know what? We have a fight to get to. We will talk about this hopefully never again. And Rick will get up and start to walk down the hallway again.
She'll kind of like, is he making fun of me? Don't answer
He's
that.
beginning to
Okay.
sound like a proper commander.
Oh, the boss. Okay. I feel like that might get us into a lot more trouble than we want, but okay.
Hey,
I mean,
you're totally
didn't
not
say
wrong.
I didn't say that. Okay, so you all gather up, make your way out of the Lyceum once again, and across the city to the Laughing Lamia, where you'll find it suitably occupied for this time of day. Sometime not too long after noon. Maybe like 2-3 o'clock. And there's several kind of people scattered about and doing their own thing. And as you step in and I mean, what are you doing? Are you finding a place to sit? Are you eating and drinking? Are you just sitting waiting? What are you doing?
What? No, we're at a bar. Of course we're drinking.
That's right. Let's do it. I will get us how many rounds?
Enough to feel it, but not so much that we start seeing double.
Okay. I take it based on your stature that enough to feel it is a lot. And it's a lot for me now. So I'm just gonna get a lot. And if we don't finish it,
We can take it to
we
go.
can, yeah, to go. I'm sure they have lids. All right, she'll go up to the bar to grab a couple drinks, and in a matter of minutes is like a professional like a professional waitress has like 10 mugs in her hands as she's coming over.
Okay, as soon as she leaves the table
Mm-hmm.
to go get the drinks, Rick is gonna just really quickly go. I know we have to handle what is happening under the city. How are we feeling about that one? I'm just taking temperature of the room. She seems a little off to me.
Why are we drinking right now? Weren't we trying to keep Miss Melancholy sober?
Oh, yes. But I also needed her away from the table, and I'm fairly certain I can hold my liquor. So the plan is just to make sure that I drink more than her before she can get to her drinks.
I feel like I thought we were playing chess. I'm not gathering the feeling of a chessboard right now.
This particular gambit is not chess. Think of it more like 3-card Monte.
Or it's like playing canasta with 4 old geezers that constantly change the rules.
Wait, did you just call me an old geezer?
No, I was I played cards with my grandfather a lot growing up. He cheats.
I'd like to meet him.
You'd probably like him.
You look lovely for your age. Quite young.
It's true. Like I said, pretty smoking for almost 40. Boom. There we go. Everybody can. There will be more if we need it. You can just kind of take or whatever. It's cool. I don't care. And scooch over. She'll just kind of shove herself into the seats. All right. Now what?
Well, we are waiting for Miss Vysoren's contacts to arrive. Oh, you know what? I have an idea.
Uh-huh.
Let's play a small version of What the Fuck Is Up With That?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I
You
am
and me,
only
kiddo. Let's
slightly
do this
nervous. All right. Okay. What do you mean a slight? Like we only do like a certain number of questions, or what? Like you changing the rules? I don't even think I did the rules right the first time, actually. So who cares? What's slight mean? What are you thinking? I have my pulls them out. I have my dice. So here, she starts passing them out. Here you go. How does the slight version work? You're in charge now, boss.
Oh, no, I was thinking just you and me.
Oh, fuck. All right, give those back. Grabbing them. Okay. All right, now, but here's the thing. Are you actually going to answer any of the questions? Or are you just going to, are you just fucking with me? Because last time you didn't answer, any of the questions.
Are you?
I answered questions. Yeah. All right, let's do this. You're freaking me out. Let's do it. Let's do it. And she'll grab a drink. And, okay. Go. Do it. Yeah. I got a 19.
I can't get my die to not be cocked. Hang on. I too got a 19.
Shit. All right, go again. Ass. I got an 11.
Okay. You possess within yourself a certain level of deutematic magic. What the fuck is up with that?
Of what?
I need the same thing.
Also-
Deutematic magic.
Technically, Rick would know it's Dunamantic, but she still doesn't know what you're talking about.
He just can't pronounce it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Right? Remember, not his first language.
That's true. I know.
You possess within you
Uh-huh.
the magic of the Crane Dynasty. What the fuck is up with that?
I do? What part? Is it these? Like the scar? Is it this?
No, Melancholy. It's the part that tried to kill Ciliana 2 nights ago.
Excuse me?
What the fuck is up with that?
You guys aren't playing! You guys aren't playing. You should have thought about that. You guys aren't playing. You have to drink for asking me a question, though. Take a drink, Huxley.
I didn't ask a question. I just had an exclamation.
I have no idea what that is.
I think I believe you.
Okay, good, because I'm not lying.
No, I know. You
I've never even.
firmly
Those
believe
people
that.
are from Eastern Wildmount, right? Like way out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never even been there. Surprisingly, I should.
That's extra information. Can I check that one?
Hey, like instant check it, yeah, sure.
Okay. 23.
Yeah, she's telling the truth.
Okay. So, can you and I fully admit that there is a problem now? And Rick realized he just asked a question. We'll drink.
Yeah, good. Yeah, ha. Okay, wait. What do you mean though? A problem how?
You possess forbidden magic. That
I
which
didn't
is
know that.
only accessible to those of the houses. And you are running around with it uncontrolled.
I think that makes me pretty cool.
I think that makes you pretty dangerous.
Exactly. We need dangerous. I can fuck shit up.
Sure, but danger that can be harnessed. Rick will
I can
pull his
harness that.
axe out. This is a tool. My rage is a tool. Even the power I siphon from my patron is a tool. But I have full control over all of those things. They are extremely dangerous. But I have
I do
control.
Watch, hold on. And like the shadow will form on her and coalesce and then just like off and then appear standing behind all of you at the table and just like, hey, pass me another one. And it'll kind of reach over and grab a mug and hand it to her and she'll take it. See? It's like my little buddy. I got control over it. Okay, back inside. And she'll take it back in. That's like forbidden magic though. That's like secret magic. That's fucking sick.
They wouldn't let me use it. Not that that's saying much.
That's fucking cool.
Well,
I love learning about myself. That's interesting. This is a bunch of questions. Let's go again. Yeah. Fucking garbage. I got an 8.
I got the 15.
Fucking okay. All right. Come on. I haven't even drank yet. You gotta go harder than that. I take it back. I take it back.
I once saw a painting of you and an uncompleted woman with no head.
She's already drinking. It's just no. I'm just and these are like ales. They're not shots. So she's just like the whole thing as like fast as she can, and just like
Okay. Roll.
fucking got an 8 again. Can I get a question? This sucks.
Rick
Roll low.
looks down. Rick rolls the dice and then puts his hand over it and looks underneath and goes, ask your question.
Hey, that's cheating. You're going easy on me. Okay. Why do you know so much about Kreen magic? What the fuck is up with that? Boom. Where are your secrets?
I was born and raised in Jorhas. I was a member of the Old War Watch, and I fought side by side with Kreen warriors.
Oh.
And he lifts up his hand, and there's an 18 on the die.
That's disappointing. Okay. What? Is there another one? You got something else?
No, I found your line. That's all that this was about.
Oh. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, I'll get there eventually, probably. A lot happening.
I hope so.
Bless you!
Because
Thank you.
I don't know a lot about the shadow you carry. What I do know is that it is dark because you can't talk about her.
Yeah.
That is
okay,
fine.
All right.
That is no, do not. You are not ready. But
I
when
mean-
you are, I'm sure there is somebody here you can unburden yourself to. Because as long as you carry that darkness and are unable to bring it to light, your little
Is that
green
what that
magic
whole-
friend.
Is that what that whole date was about? Are you trying to set me up so that I'll spill the beans?
No.
So
That
I'll
little.
have someone.
No. That little date was not about that at all. That was strictly because. Well, there is no reason. It was funny prank, and
Nimra.
I thought it was quite nice.
How thin are your walls, Nimra? Could you hear me the whole time?
I'm not playing the game.
This isn't a game. I'm asking you a question.
I have no obligation to answer. I'm not playing the game.
Could you guys hear everything? Did you hear all of that? No answers means yes. Okay, guys?
Well, we were actually out at a cafe, so...
No, you weren't. Wait,
At some
weren't
point
you?
we were.
Can you?
Yeah,
Above
we-
table, you weren't until the end, but she doesn't know. So like, you're lying though, because then you would have just been like, "No, we weren't there." Well, I didn't see you
Well,
leave. I was
remember we
outside,
We brought back the food.
but I was outside. I would have seen you leave. What, Nimrod? Do you have a fucking teleportation circle to every restaurant in town?
Do you think I only need to use the teleportation circle to transport places?
How many how many is all your magic just moving around? Do you just hate walking that much? The fuck is up with that?
I'm not playing the game.
Whatever. Oh my god. Whatever.
One more?
Yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
Okay.
You go first this time. She's like covering hers.
Rick will open his hand and show a natural one.
Okay, cool. I got
I
it.
stop
3.
telling stories.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. This threw me so bad. I don't. Okay. Well. And she'll like she'll just point at your necklace. It's like, what the fuck is up with that thing?
This
Yeah,
is a
That's like a-
necklace.
that's like a bad guy. You know that.
The victors write history. He was on the losing side,
Yeah.
not convinced it was the wrong side. Or the bad side.
Okay, that's kind of a lot.
Have you
That's
talked to
like-
him?
Not him specifically, no.
Have you talked to any of the betrayers?
No.
You were a bard, Melancholy. You told stories. But you never got theirs.
I mean, everyone I've ever met who's like on their side is like kind of fucked up. That kind of paints a certain picture of their side.
But perhaps, from this side of the line, you're the one who's fucked up. You're the one who carries forbidden magic. You're the one who, for years, paraded around in a falsehood, a pink skin, when that is not really who you are.
Listen, it was originally. Okay? That is how I was born like that. This is who I'm not. But it's who I am now. And it is this skin that shows me the compassion of the side that I'm on. For one. That paints the side that I'm on with a certain, leads me to give them the benefit of the doubt. I haven't spoken to any of the betrayers. That doesn't mean I haven't spoken to a god before.
Say her name.
Nobody knows her name.
They did once.
Someone. Maybe.
She's special. She had the name.
They're all special. It comes with being a
Aha!
god.
You will admit it then. They are all special.
Well, yeah.
So why should I not choose my special?
Because it's bad special. They're bad. They're bad guys. The people who work for them are usually they suck. They're bad. They're like evil and shit. How many have you ever dealt with other followers of betrayers before? Is this just a you thing? Or have you met any others before? Because generally speaking, they're bad people.
Yes. Yes, the world says they are.
I don't think it's like that. I think them usually killing people and doing evil shit is what makes them seem that way.
Rick's gonna take from his belt a hand axe and slide it across the table to Melancholy. Do it.
Do what?
Take out the bad man. I won't even
Yeah.
fight it. Go ahead.
I can't do that in the middle of a bar. I'll get arrested.
Would you prefer we go someplace more private?
Would you? Is that necessary?
No. I very much want to get to the 9th layer of hell. I very much want to kill Paimon. But if this is going to bother you and create a division in this group, it is better you just remove me.
That's why I'm asking you. That's why I asked the question.
You have drawn your conclusions. Your answer is clear on that. Am I different than these other evil people?
That's what I'm asking.
And I am asking you. It does not matter what I say. Do you believe I am different?
I hope you are.
Do you believe I can be trusted?
I don't know. I don't know if any of you can be trusted. I met you all a week ago.
And yet you're still here. Does that not count for something?
I mean, it beats where I was.
Well, to be fair, Rick points to the stage in the middle of the Lamia. That's where you were, so you haven't gone very far. And he gives sort of a coy smile.
And she kind of looks over at it for a minute and just yeah, I guess not. And so she's seated in the middle of you guys. She'll summon the echo outside the table standing, and then she will just swap places with it and then pull it back into her as elaborate of a way to stand up as she can, and then she'll just call me when they're here. And she's gonna go upstairs.
Will do. Well, I think that was quite informative.
What just happened?
I pushed her to a limit. I want to be clear. I very much want to see this thing to the end. Whether you believe me or not, I do believe that what Paimon and his people are doing is wrong. Just because my boss has been deemed evil does not mean that I desire to do evil. But if at any point, any of you feel that the group is better without me, I cannot walk away. You have permission to kill me.
We're not going to kill you.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not sure. Well, this could be an incorrect assessment, but everyone carries some amount of darkness here. It may not be deific levels of darkness, but I mean, we've all got burdens and we've all got purpose in this journey, so I don't see how your darkness vilifies you any more than the rest of us.
I never considered it to vilify me at all. The two of you have been traveling with me a long time. I don't hide my darkness. It makes me effective at what I do. It will make me effective in what is to come. And the fact that I wear this stupid symbol around my neck seems to change the way people look at me. If I did not wear it, it would not have been a problem. But then I would be hiding what makes me me. So I wear it openly. Proudly is too strong of a word. I don't hide it. Not anymore.
I don't understand the moralistic grandstanding that has been occurring. We're contracted with devils. Evil at best. We are doing anything we can in the sake of freeing loved ones, acquiring power through any means. Why must we moralize where we get the power from?
I mean, you're
Are
right.
you not trying to improve yourself? Are you not trying to improve us? Are you not trying to be the best person that you can be, regardless of who you worship?
You don't have to convince me.
That's why I'm confused. I don't understand. We're all working towards the same goal. Why must the gods always be involved?
I wish I had an answer. Actually, no, I don't. I don't care. She'll come down. Or she won't.
I mean, I've said this before. I've always known where your loyalties lay. It hasn't changed anything. Maybe it'll just take a roll at a time.
I doubt it. For a long time, I created a lot of work for the woman she holds dear. For a long time, I asked the mother of ravens to pluck strings I was responsible for. And if melancholy feels that strongly, and it was not just some sort of moralistic grandstanding, she may not come around.
Rick, you'll hear in the back of your head, briefly. Nothing to get all worked up about. The matron's a bitch anyway.
Rick probably can't hold back the smile that shows up on his face. I don't know if I can respond. Do we communicate telepathically?
Well, in the past, have you just spoken aloud?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't know. If you hadn't tried, you wouldn't know.
Okay.
You could think a thought and see if it responds, but yeah, at the moment, since you've always just defaulted to speaking aloud, you don't know.
Okay.
You asked why the gods must be involved in everything. And it's because they are. I don't... It's power. And whether you like it or not, they're here.
But must they be the basis for everything when we can just humanoid to humanoid exist? Perhaps it's because I never took stock into religion in much the same way as perhaps people at the table. I've always believed I can gather my own power by myself. And I did. I studied for a very long time to be able to learn how to channel magic. Every bit of power that I have gathered by myself. And I believe in that. And I believe in myself above all else.
You are stronger than most. I think it's easier sometimes to not take on that responsibility. And I'm not saying every religious person or everybody who puts belief in one of the gods is this way, but for many it is easier to lean on someone, to lean on an entity bigger than themselves, rather than to build themselves up. And there are very few, a rare few of us, who are never given that choice, who have this thrust upon them, whether it be through long lines or deals made by others. I am in awe of you, Archivist. But you put your mind and body to it, and you alone developed your power. I wish I had had that opportunity.
And I would never begrudge you, anybody here, for how they got to their power. The crux of it is that are you using your power for your own betterment, for the betterment of others, regardless of where you got it from? The gods' morals need not influence what we do with our power. That is the point that I am trying to make.
Oh,
We are people, individuals.
very clearly, and it's important for all of you to understand that the reason I keep adding to the conversation, the reason that I feel the need not even to justify, but just to voice something, because in this particular moment, the quiet scares me, and I really wish that the Shari would show us. Because in the quiet is when the voices start. And I don't like talking to them. Where the hell is that guy?
To be fair, it's only been like 20 minutes.
Oh, well, if you want something, some non-quiet, speaking of gods, I had a conversation with one the other day, our favorite demigod. It slipped my mind, actually. I probably should have mentioned this earlier. He thinks it might be a good idea for us to speak with him. Eventually, he can come to us, we can go to him. It's just, I should not be in charge of making appointments, because, I forgot.
Did he say what about?
When I went to go speak with, Udril is your... I can't remember that. The High Curator. They were absent, so I piddled around, and I was like, oh, I should talk to Elixion about all of this that is going on right now. And I mentioned the site lists, I mentioned the scrolls, I believe, and I'm not sure if he actually has any relevant information about it, but there just may be some catching up that needs to happen.
And he said he wanted to speak to all of us?
I believe that was the request as I flipped through my book to see if I wrote that down. Nope, all I wrote was Elixion wants to meet.
You must take this. What better way to re-enter his good graces than to finish off the one he could not?
Rick blurts out in giant. I know.
No better blood to spill. No better time.
Seriously, you gotta stop.
Why? Getting antsy. Try being
Are
stuck
you
in
okay?
a fucking spear for 800 years.
Whose fucking fault is that? And then Rick realizes he's yelling in giant in the middle of the Lamia and goes, I think I am going to take a step out. And he just gets up, grabs a drink and his hand axe off the table, tucks it away, and walks outside.
Careful now.
He was serious about the voices?
Beginning to think so. Maybe we
Yeah.
have some problems that need to be dealt with.
Should one of us go after him, or should we let him?
You know him a bit better than I do. Do you think being there would help or make it worse?
I wish I knew the answer to that. I always feel like when I try to help, I just make it worse.
You and me both.
But is it not the fact that you're trying? Is that not what matters the most?
I hope so. But maybe we ought to give him a little bit of time to compose himself.
I
Sometimes-
think that's... You go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, sometimes going after someone when they do not want to be found leads to getting stabbed, so I think we leave them.
Are you okay? By the
Yeah,
way?
what the fuck is up with that?
We did not discuss that. But excuse us? She almost killed you a couple of nights ago. When was this?
It's a bit of an exaggeration, but yes.
I'm beginning to think I misinterpreted some things.
I guess we
Yeah,
should
that's
assume
not-
it was us.
Not really what we thought was going on?
We thought there was some unresolved tension of the romantic sort. But yes, that was us.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ow.
It was well intentioned.
You can let Mel keep believing it was a date ghost. I'm perfectly fine with this ruse continuing.
Yeah, honestly, that was pretty funny.
Did you like the ambiance? The tableware?
You know, I'm no Mel, but I thought I did pretty good with the music.
So it was you, and you thought us fighting was some lovers' quarrel?
Yeah, I didn't know you were fighting. I thought you were just having a conversation of the...
We did
Never
just
mind.
we did just learn the fact that she almost killed you a few nights ago. So, forgive
That's
us
fair.
for the
Yeah, that was definitely information we didn't have when we made the decisions that we made.
That's fair. I did not. Rick knew, but did not
Rick
want
knew!
to share other information. Yes, he was there.
Yeah, that sort of doesn't surprise me. Seriously, though, what happened?
Are you okay?
Um,
Mentally, emotionally, physically,
in general, or
in the context of her almost killing you.
oh, I'm fine. I believe Haster's magic regarding rooms became an issue for her, and going to see her and opening the door without her letting me in was bad. But we're fine. We talked.
Everything's good between you guys?
I think so. I don't know, it's weird.
In the same spirit of the question that Rick asked us, do you think she's well enough to be traveling with us and doing what we're doing right now?
Well, I think she's very capable in combat, which is helpful.
Due to the new form, powers, skill set that she seems to have acquired overnight? Or
Seems like she knows how to use it.
yeah, because above table, I don't think Nimra has seen Mel fight effectively.
None of you.
Ever.
No, she held her own in that big old boss fight. She got a little scratched up, but
Yeah,
also
that's true.
Nimra went in to save her,
remember
and she
Yeah.
was gone.
She's gone.
That's right. You weren't there to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. The only other time Nimra has seen her was with the Hammond Craith whole thing.
And the ice
where
devil
she
in
went
Drusar,
down.
Oh,
yeah.
where
went
she
down
didn't really do
several
much of
times.
anything. Being a bard is hard. Leave me alone. I'm not good at it.
You are now.
You do know her best out of all of us, which is why your opinion is very highly regarded, among other reasons.
Do I know her best? Is that true? I don't know. Okay.
I would argue you know her better than most of us. At the very least. Certainly better than I do.
I do think she needs this. I don't think it matters if we need her. Because I think she needs this. And she's a part of it.
Do you trust her?
I do. Probably shouldn't, but I do.
That's all I need.
I will
trust
take your
you.
word for that. Mostly because extroverts scare me, and she scares me a little bit. But not because she is frightening, but because extroverts are frightening.
She's a bit much. I'm also not geared to handle her personality type. It's not within my skill set. I'm afraid.
It's possible to get used to it because I'm married to one, but it takes a while.
Agatha is much the same.
Not quite the same. She's always been very sure of herself. She talks to people, anyone, everyone, whether they, speak her language or not. Gets along with most people just fine.
Rick.
She sounds lovely.
Rick. You
Yeah,
went outside.
I did.
Are you taking one of your
still in
walks?
Giant. Yikes.
Kinda
Shit, I'm
dig
stuck.
back in.
I'm stuck now. Oh no.
Help!
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 Help! Somebody help me!
Help me!
I done stuck.
I'm back home and I don't want to be back home.
I think he'll start by just like getting out of the building.
Mhm.
I'm not. He needs to stay close by in case. Okay, just down the block and back.
As soon as you start walking like away,
Mm-hmm.
where do you think you're going?
Down to the corner and back.
A follower of the matron sits upstairs, and yet you do not spill her blood. Why?
Because
Alone. No defenses. You know you can take her easy.
Well, yeah. But she's part of the path to a bigger target. If we want chaos, why kill a little tiefling when I can kill an archdevil?
Because the tiefling is the enemy. The words you just said, so poetic. No one listens to our side of the story, right? Whose fault is that?
Well,
Who named us? Who named our father a betrayer?
probably the same ones who took the title Prime.
Exactly. No archdevil ever called me a betrayer.
Well, I imagine that's probably because they didn't have a chance, right? Those blood wars were pretty messy. I imagine you probably slaughtered most people you came up
You're
against.
talking around the point.
Oh, absolutely. Why?
Do you not worry that you disappoint him?
Oh, all the time.
Then why do you not act on it? Act on fixing it. Doing what he put you on this earth, what he gave you this power to do.
No. Not yet.
Not
Like,
yet.
if I go up there and kill that little tiefling, they're gonna run me out of town. And I ain't gonna get a shot at the Apothian. I appreciate you. I do. And I appreciate that you want to sow chaos like Daddy wants us to. That's great. But one follower of the matron ain't worth a shot at the Apothian. I got you back from that man. And I'm forever grateful for that. I made some mistakes along the way, and I don't blame the Ruiner for not talking to me. But you said it yourself. I got a shot at the one that got away. That's the one I want to take.
Remember that this is your second shot at him. You've already failed once.
Well, it's a
Your
matter of
lack of
perspective.
conviction is concerning.
Only to you.
No, not only to me. Just because he doesn't speak to you does not mean he isn't watching.
All right, here's a weird one. I'd like to incite my spear, please.
Okay, you can try.
$24.
So, As far as you can read someone from just their voice, you truthfully do not know whether the entity in this spear has any connection to the ruiner or not.
Right. Okay.
But it sure seems to think so.
Don't we all? Okay, cool. Has Rick felt like this thing probing around in his head when it's not speaking? Because it has information it can't possibly have.
Probing in your head? You
Yeah.
haven't felt any kind of mental intrude. You've been intruded on your thoughts before. You have
Right.
not felt that.
Okay, cool.
Other than when you've obviously, like when Haster did it, for example, in the meeting, you knew.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But like that, you have not felt that. No.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you. All right. You've said your piece. You good? Or you want to say some more?
Such a lip for a failure.
Okay, then. Rick, feeling a little bit better about himself, a little bit more of a pep in his step, will we'll head, I guess, back towards the Lamia.
Okay.
If nothing else, he has to return the cup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, eventually, towards the tail end of y'all's conversation, Rick will re-enter. And, I mean, so far, you haven't, like Allura said, she didn't inform you of any kind of delay. You haven't heard of one yet. So, unless there's anything y'all want to specifically do, I presume you'll wait for either the Ashari to arrive or for Allura to make mention of something. And will you be spending that time here in the tavern together, or like I said, is there anything anybody wants to do first?
If it takes like another hour, Seal will go try and find Mel and like make sure she's doing okay.
Okay.
But other than that,
Okay. Yeah, it does. Within the next hour, no one's arrived. You haven't heard either, for sure. So if you want to go look for her, you can. And I mean, going upstairs, she's just kind of sitting at the end of the hallway. Or I guess not sitting. She's like the way the hallway is, like right before it turns, she's kind of like leaned up against the wall, facing away from you, almost as though she's like looking around the corner where the hall turns. Just kind of standing there, still drink in hand.
I'll just walk up to her. I'm not trying to be sneaky or anything.
Okay. As you what's your passive perception?
Let me see. 16.
As you get closer, you do hear her talking. In case that affects your approach, but like, still some little bit of ways away from where you can hear her talking, and you can hear like another voice responding from like around the corner.
I'll just wait. I won't like interrupt a conversation, but
Okay.
she's just gonna watch and make sure that everything's okay.
Are you trying to hear what they're saying?
Not really.
Okay. So, yeah, it'll take like a couple minutes. And eventually, it'll kind of stop, and you'll hear some footsteps, and she'll kind of like turn to put now her like instead of facing like away from you, she'll turn to put her back against the wall, and she'll just kind of like look over and like, oh, hey, how long have you
Hey,
how long have you been standing there?
a little bit? You were talking, I didn't want to interrupt.
Did you hear any of that?
No? Should I?
No, I'm
What?
just curious.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. What's up?
Just came to make sure you're doing okay.
I mean, yeah, I'm fine. As much as I can be after that conversation. You know, as I kind of, I think, alluded to before, we got drunk. I got drunk right after, so now I don't really remember exactly. But, it makes me nervous in general. And, I don't think I'm doing a very good job of redeeming myself in her eyes, walking around with him like that. Maybe it's fine.
Think she'll punish you
I don't know.
or something?
I don't think so. I haven't, I exaggerated a bit. I haven't exactly spoken. Therefore, well, I mean, but I just, I was on a path before, and then I fell off of it, and I'm attempting to get back on, and I don't know if she'll let me back on. And I mean, maybe it's fine. You know, maybe he's fine. Maybe he's telling the truth. He's just like, whatever. It just happens to be his thing, and it's not leading him on the wrong path, but I have no way of knowing. I won't know until we get there. We won't know his destination until we get to it, and by then it might be too late. And this group strikes me as the type that will gladly defend him before putting a stop to anything he might do that's wrong, if it comes to that. I asked him sincerely. I wasn't making an assumption, I was asking. And because I don't know. And nobody here is particularly devout, from what I can tell. And nobody here seems to have much of a problem with who he follows. And that's why that worries me. If all is well and good, if all turns out great, then it's fine. It doesn't matter. If he's being led on a path, on the kind of path that I've seen every other follower of any betrayer be led, I don't think they will turn against him to stop it. Unless he's like actively killing them. And I don't know how this works. I don't know how gods all work super clearly. They're kind of beyond that. I definitely don't know how any of the betrayers work or think. But I don't trust them. I mean, I don't think anyone should, really. Like, I get it. Not everybody worships the gods or whatever. Not everybody gets something from them. But I think history has a pretty good track record of the ones who have helped us and the ones who have not. I think there's a kind of a really big, clear, prime example. 837 years ago? Of whose side they're on? So, I'm concerned. And I don't know. Part of it is selfish because part of it is me just trying to get back what I failed to do before, get back what I lost. But I do believe in them sincerely. I believe in the matron, at least. She gave me this. I'm here because of her. You know? So there's that. I guess we'll see. I'm not going to start something. I am one amongst 6. I don't think the numbers stack in my favor if it comes to that. And there's bigger shit to
Why do
worry
you think
about.
that we'd all be against you?
Maybe not all of you. But most of you know him better. Most of you have been with... All of you have been with him longer than me. All of you know him better than me. Like, then you know me. Sort of not a big leap. I mean, it's not a big leap of logic, at least for most of them. I guess I don't know about you. But
The main thing is you're concerned about what she thinks of you and getting back in her good graces. She had the power to... You say that you are here because of her. If she had that power, she also has the power to take you away. So I think there's a good sign in that you're still here. I don't think that means you can't make it up to her or whatever you're trying to do.
I don't know if that's
Because I mean,
exactly how it works.
I understand. I've heard the stories. Makes sense to be concerned, but so far we've been fine. And if it comes to it, things may change.
I guess. I'd rather it not. But I don't know. I mean, I've got something to prove, so I know where I'm gonna end up. One way or the other. So I don't know. Now is probably not the time. But he was fucking prying about my shit. So I was like, well, what about you?
Yeah.
Probably a bad idea. I don't know.
I think he should have known it was a bad idea to poke at that anyways, after what he witnessed the other night, so I don't think either of you are in the right necessarily then. If that exists.
Yeah. It's getting really annoying. Whatever. I appreciate it. You coming poking around. I didn't try to stab you this time, so
Sure.
marked improvement. I think
Noted.
in this whole situation.
So did you really not tell anyone? They all seemed like very surprised. And like I didn't tell anyone, but everyone else seemed very surprised that
Of course
happened.
I didn't tell them. Why would I tell them I tried to stab you? That makes
I
me
don't know.
look bad. That makes me look terrible. And then they would ask why, and then I'd have to be like, well, I was in the middle of something kind of serious. And they'd be like, well, Melancholy, you have to tell us because this is very concerning development and we can't be having inter-party conflict like this. And I'd have to be like, and then I'd have to tell. I almost told Mal the other day what the hell happened because I was freaking out. I was in the middle of having a weird time. I probably should tell someone, to be honest. I don't know what I don't know if that would help me though. And I'm worried and like I don't know. And then I'd have to talk about it and then I'd have to like reckon with it and then I don't know. I don't even know why I'm scared. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, of course I didn't tell anyone. I thought that was like obviously a thing we keep on the. I mean, I guess not obviously. You were in the right to tell them. I did try to stab you. So, like, you know, I'm not mad at you for it. But, like, man, I would have rather not have been in the room. Wait, was she there? When you said that, I already forgot. Was she? No, she wasn't. Yeah,
No.
No, she wasn't.
But
Never mind.
Last. A couple sessions ago, I alluded to it, so I don't know what I said. But.
Right, okay. So, well, close enough. Whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'll probably get it off my chest eventually. You know, at some point, we're gonna have to go to sleep, and I'll probably bunk with somebody, and if they ask, I'll probably be like, well, you know what? Or, like, if I'm drunk enough, maybe. Actually, I can't tell. I might say less. I don't know. Whatever. I don't think that matters right now. Thank you for checking on me, though. But I'm good. I'm fine. I'm a little concerned. I'm a little stressed out. But granted, we're in concerning circumstances. So, kind of fair. But, I mean, I trust you, at least. You seem, she kind of like pats your arm, like a good cookie. So,
Thank you.
You're welcome. You know, I'm an expert good cookie spotter, so.
It's good to
Seeing
know.
when I'm waffling a lot. Are we? I guess just like come get me, if the people show up.
You don't want to go back down.
I feel like it would be really awkward. And what if they ask me?
I don't think they will.
I mean, maybe not. Mal was super curious when I almost brought it up. They were like, "What? Whoa, you got whoa!" And I was like, "Ah." So I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just.
You don't have to. I
mean, do you think I should? Do you think it's bad if I stay up here?
Well, why would you want to be alone?
I'm used to it.
Well, there's a lot of things that people are used to that are probably not great for them. So.
Are you trying to tell me to stop drinking?
I think it would be smart. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
No, you're not, because you're bottom coated. All right, let's go. She's gonna start walking downstairs.
You said the opposite thing yesterday.
And she'll come downstairs, and just sort of, like go to the table, and then like, kind of stop, and then like, keep going again, and then just sort of like, excuse me, I'm sitting back down again. It's fine. I'm okay. No hard feelings. I was just a little stressed out and anxious. And she'll scooch into the table and sit down and just look at everyone for a minute and just
Huxley's in the process of wire wrapping one of the sending stones he got. He's splayed out, there's all of the empty mugs and then his tools. He slowly started to encroach on everybody else.
Okay, there was a lot of empty mugs. Who has drank them?
Oh, yeah, no, Rick's been, yeah.
Okay.
I imagine Rick.
Has it just been Rick? Have you just drank the rest of them that were there?
Whatever
Seal
was
has
on the
some,
table.
but-
Yeah, Seal might have.
Okay, fair. Just checking. Okay. Yeah, okay. So she'll, she scooches in. You guys kind of settle in, and we'll spend a little bit more time there. It's not long now. It takes maybe another 20 minutes, give or take.
Just a real awkward game of goldfish.
Yeah, something like that.
Real awkward go fish.
At some point, Mal goes and comes back with a round of mugs of coffee rather than beer.
Oh yeah.
What is this? This is the warmest beer I have ever tasted, and it's bitter.
It's actively hot.
Add 30 sugars to it, it gets a lot better.
That sounds like that would be terrible for my
That sounds amazing.
finely carved midsection.
That sounds like a crime against coffee.
Huxley is just drinking sludge at this point. His coffee is purely liquid.
You just drink black coffee? That's gross.
It has
How
sugar
else
in
do
it.
you drink it?
With sugar in it. And milk sometimes. That's so gross. Ugh.
But then you can actually taste the coffee.
Yeah,
is
and
the point.
coffee tastes like shit.
Does it need to taste good for it to do
Oh
its
my-
job correctly?
Oh my god, what the fuck? Nimra, have you
Have
ever
you just
tasted
only
good
ever
food?
had bad coffee?
I don't particularly care if it's good or bad, so long as I get caffeine.
What?
That's sad.
Yeah,
Nora.
that's crazy. You just don't care if what you're eating tastes good? You just eat whatever?
Not particularly, no.
I guess it explains your kitchen.
It's supposed to be there to be nutritious, provide your body with nutrients and sustenance.
It's also a thing to enjoy. That's why restaurants
Yeah.
exist. Are you
Probably
familiar
for
with
the
the concept
company.
of a restaurant?
Yes?
So, did you think a restaurant was just an expensive way to get nutrition in your body? Did you not think that people were paying for...
Isn't it also a social thing? Am I incorrect with that assessment?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, the mutual enjoyment of food is a
Good
social
food.
thing.
Yeah, the mutual enjoyment of food, exactly.
I thought you were there to enjoy company.
Oh, that explains why
I
you
mean
asked. That explains why they asked for dinner with Haster. So,
I mean, yeah. I think a lot of things are being explained right now, actually.
I mean, nothing we didn't already know, I think.
Is that not how it works?
You eat food because it tastes good, Nimra. You eat things
what
that
is-
taste good because they taste good.
Is this an objective measure or
I mean,
subjective measure? Is this
I
something
guess
that I should
not.
have been taking notes on? And
I don't
No,
think
it
it's a
isn't.
science.
It is entirely subjective.
You just put it in your mouth and you're like, yummy, and you have some more.
fascinating. That's not how
No,
this
it's
is
not
good for us growing
fascinating.
up.
It's just what people do with their food.
I only grew up on rations.
Hold on. And she gets up and tries to make her way out of the table and we'll start walking to the bar. Can I get some food, please? Something really good now. This is important.
To be fair, sometimes when you are poor, you eat what you're given, and it's not always great, and you eat it because you don't want to be hungry. So I
parents
sympathize with you.
Are like high-ranking members of an academic institution. I don't think they were poor.
I'm just saying, I
worse.
understand their point of view.
Mel is yelling this from the other side of the tavern.
Yeah.
Right? Because she's going to get food.
Yeah.
And then
The curator and the expositor were frequently not home.
You mean Mom and Dad? Oh my god, it keeps going.
You didn't learn how to make your own food from ages 3 and onwards?
I learned closer to like 7 or 8 is when my mom started to teach me to cook, but she also taught me to cook good food. Do your parents also eat slop that tastes like nothing?
Yes, that is how my father made
Oh
it.
my fucking god.
it's a family recipe.
Oh my god!
3-year-old
I love
3-year-old
this deep
Nimra.
Nimra lore.
Oh, 3-year-old Nimra reading off a flashcard. Ah,
It
it just says the curator's recipe for slop.
Curator huge rolls. High
Yes.
efficiency, high calorie, high nutrient.
Soylent.
Oh man. Soylent, yeah.
Oh my god.
Has he brought this to like Cobalt Soul potluck before? Do other people know about the slop, or is it just purely in the family?
Potluck.
Oh, no, this is unacceptable. After the Undercity stuff, we are having a potluck. Nope, I refuse. We're going to find a kitchen. We are potlucking.
I don't understand what the issue is.
You're supposed to.
Think of it as a cultural experiment, Nimra. We are trying to enrich your experience with our experience, and you may do the same. Well, you've already technically done the same by introducing us to your apartment, so...
We will be
very
returning the gesture.
Yes, it's a very efficient way to live. You don't have to clean much. There's almost nothing. Alright, give me a second. You don't have to clean much. There's almost nothing to clean. You have as many calories, nutrients, antioxidants in one place as much as possible. You only have to wash one bowl. I don't understand. It's very efficient.
Efficiency is not all there is to enjoying being alive.
Yes, knowledge is also...
Have you ever
Yes.
considered knowledge of good food? Have you ever considered knowledge of the things in life you can enjoy?
More recently.
All they needed was a fucking boyfriend, I guess. You can go wait by the bar.
Is that what it is? I'm unsure of the label.
I don't know if we're steady yet.
I wouldn't go throwing the term around in front of Hastor, but we need a label for it, so it appears this is what Melancholy has to say.
I'm just stating the obvious.
I mean, I think you should say it in front of him and see how he reacts. I think that would be probably pretty great.
And labels are complicated anyway, because sometimes you could be married for years and you still turn to your spouse in the middle of the night and go, "Are you sure you still like me?" And we have a really long conversation about it. So...
Actually, you feel her hands on your shoulder. It's like... She
What?
loves you very much, okay?
I know, but when you're young and insecure, I mean, you have these conversations every couple of years, and it's, I mean,
Do you?
yeah.
I mean, the 7-year itch is a thing.
The what?
The what?
The what?
The 7-year
Everyone,
itch.
the what?
No, just me.
I have never heard that.
No, this
Not
is
once.
yeah.
It's
7,
book.
10, 15, 25, 32, 46, and then if you're lucky enough to make it into your 50s, by that time you just leave the itch. There's no scratching it.
The itch for what?
Yes, I'm. What?
It must be a giant thing. I don't. This is just a
Maybe.
thing.
No. What itch?
The itch.
The itch for what?
I think that's a medical issue. I don't know if that's
A skin
This-
condition?
This
of some
must.
kind?
This must not. It must not.
Oh.
It is far more clear in giant.
No, it's okay. It's okay. There's no reason to be ashamed about it. It's actually perfectly treatable with modern arcane means.
I have never had an issue with. Are we talking about the same thing?
I mean, what?
I don't think we are.
I don't.
Are we?
Oh no. I speak many languages, but giant eludes me.
Huh.
We're gonna go to break. Okay.
And that's how you. And that, my friends, is how you kill a conversation.
Yes.
Real quick, just because I'm genuinely curious, for all of you watching during the break, right? Just hit pause or whatever. I need to know what you think our Starbucks orders are down in the bottom. Just character Starbucks orders down in the bottom. The food thing was funny, but the coffee thing is really important.
Yeah, that's fair. Side
Yeah.
conversations. That's your homework for the next 5 minutes because I make the break 5 minutes in the edit, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Okay.
Hooray!
Welcome back. We're back. Good for us.
Was it
Having
5
just-
minutes for you? It was definitely 5 minutes for us.
Absolutely. We all ate so quickly. Good for us.
Mhm.
After lots of conversation, you've just finished speaking with Allura, catching up on what's going on in the city, finding out about the devils underneath Emon, being told you'll be meeting with an Ashari, a fire Ashari from Pyra, hopefully to help you track them down. Sitting and waiting in the Laughing Lamia, having a bit of conversation, waiting for them to arrive. You've been there for a solid, roughly hour and a half to 2 hours. When something finally happens. Where you are, all seated kind of in a booth somewhere near the front of the place. At a certain point, someone will enter who kind of, knowing you're waiting for a fire elementalist, you kind of like immediately get the vibes, right? It is a young looking, presumably human man, enters through the front doors. He's got like a kind of like not really a coat, like almost, it's like coat like, but it's quite short. This kind of leather coat over top a bare chest with these kind of like around his waist where there sits a red belt. There's this kind of like red scaled, almost kind of like armor skirt type thing. And he's got these like metal greaves type boots on. Beneath that, some red shorts, and then sitting at the front like these kind of those, I don't know how else to describe it, but like those the way Roman armor has like the little tassels that sit in the front, that they're the silver kind of metal tassels that dangle in the front, and several silver chains and necklaces over top. And he's got real dark brown skin, and his hair is massive curls all kept up in like a bit of a big flared kind of bun on top. He kind of comes in and sort of like immediately locks eyes with, or not necessarily locks eyes with one of you, but sees you, visualizes you, and starts approaching, clearly making themselves known and their intent to speak to you known. And sort of coming up to a lot of you, giving you like kind of clasping their hands together and giving you like a quick little like short, like a little courteous little bow, and just sort of waits to be acknowledged, doesn't want to like interject in case you're in the middle of conversation. So he just kind of comes up and gives you that little bow of acknowledgement and waits to be addressed.
You must be the one we were waiting on.
Yes. Pleasure to meet you all. I spoke with Miss Vysoren. She told me you'd be lending a hand. Is that correct?
That was the plan. Rick will stand up and extend a hand.
He will meet it with a hard ass grip, just in one quick shake, and then back to like a very stiff kind of posture.
Perfect. Is he warm to the touch?
No.
Okay.
I mean, as warm as any.
No,
kind
I
of
mean
normal person's
right.
hand
So
would be.
not
Not
excess,
exceptionally so. No.
Not exceptionally
Yeah.
so. Okay, great. Let me introduce you to the team. I am Rick, and then he'll go around the table. Huxley, Archivist Nimra, Mal Vinkram, wow, Silvana Sharp, and Melancholy. Mel, do you have a certain name? Oh, I'm sure you do. Do you use it?
De Amore.
Oh, very sexy.
Thank you. I know.
There's a moment Rick is like, Rick kind of like, and then turns back to the human. This guy, man. Fucking A.
She's very proud of herself. She did not choose it, but she did. And he just kind of like, as Rick points to each of you. He just kind of gives each of you the same kind of like quick nod, and sort of like once he finishes rounds out, he will introduce himself again with a little bow for himself. Theron is my name. Theron Barrows. I'm with the Fire Ashari. Live in Pyro, but currently he's on the front. Miss Vysoren told me you are all aware of what we're doing, more or less, or do you need a rundown?
I'm more detailed. Debrief would be nice, but we are aware that you all have been tasked with dealing with the fire elementals and the like underneath, and I don't know how much Miss Vysoren filled you in, but we tend to be the ringers for the other side of your current problem.
Right. Well, I'd be happy to fill you in some. Maybe we should walk and talk.
Oh,
It's a bit of a march.
Yes. Rick's gonna take a quick scan of the table. Are we leaving food or drink on the table at all?
Melancholy's not.
I didn't think so. So between Melancholy and Rick, we'll probably finish consuming and draining anything that's on the table before following. You said Theron?
Theron Barrows. Yeah.
Theron Barrows.
Get
Before
that
following.
spelled.
It's
If we can
like
get that
she
all-
had it just sitting there for us.
Perfect.
So close.
Thank you.
I was
Yeah,
entirely
I was
off,
close.
but I've never spelled
was-
an NPC's name right this entire.
It was very close. I got the last name right.
I got the first name right.
I got the first
I
name.
got
right.
neither.
I didn't put the W in the last name.
I've got multiple I's in there and a Y.
Close enough.
So fair. I wish I knew where.
That secret I'm taking to Rick's grave.
But yeah, he'll let you finish up, gather up your things, and he'll just start. He'll lead you out of the tavern and out through the streets, out towards the actual exit of the city.
Oh.
And as he starts walking with you guys, he'll re-engage in the conversation. So, a more detailed walkthrough. The basics. We are tasked with handling the continuous stream of fire elementals, cinder slag elementals, and the like from beneath the city, and trying our best to repair the damage done. I'm not sure of any of your histories with the city here, but it took a lot of work, but it wasn't that long ago that all of this and all the land around it was unlivable. It's been through largely our efforts and the efforts of the League of Miracles that we have repaired things as we have. And that lingering elemental damage has mostly been our area of expertise that we've managed to contain. Though the state of things beneath the city is a different question. Much more volatile, shifting, and difficult to control. But we're managing. Of course. And he sort of takes a more hushed tone, trying to keep close to you guys, to keep out of earshot of passersby as you walk. The recent fiendish appearance is unexpected and new. And, well, suffice to say, we are relieved. You're eager to help. It was going to be a little bit of time before our reinforcements came in, and we've been worried we don't have that time. So, but still, regardless, hopefully it's nothing too serious. You said you deal with that side of the coin. Yes, could you elaborate?
Of course, yes. Last time we were here, we were investigating the breakout, the jailbreak at the is it the prison, the I do not, the place. There was a prisoner breakout a couple weeks ago or something.
The Black Bastille.
Yes, that's the one, the Black Bastille. Yeah, there was a prisoner break, and we were helping Miss Vysoren investigate such things. When we tracked down the escaped convict, we had an encounter with the fiendish types, and they seem to have the service of an Adrenunk, which would lead to the idea that perhaps they are working with the League of Miracles or something. So when the fiendish types popped back up, Miss Vysoren thought perhaps, as we'd already encountered them here, perhaps we could be of more service.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We are, at the moment, unsure of their origins. They are capable creatures, not lowly devils by any means. They aren't exactly our area of expertise, but they did quite a bit of damage. As is.
Is it possible for you to describe them? They don't all look the same. It would be helpful to know perhaps what these devils look like, so we know what type of enemy we are running into. Infantry or specialists.
Yes, you can give a generalized description. I can point them out in my book.
Last we saw them, there were, I believe, 4 remaining. 2 of which were very large, almost the storybook depiction of a devilish fiend. Big horns and big wings and a spiked tail, and they wielded pitchforks. The tails had stingers. And the other 2 were large and white, covered in spines with large wings as well, though were very different. The first 2, they're big, leathery wings, and the white ones had more insectoid kind wings, and they're much longer, thinner tail.
Okay, so above table, we've seen the pit. They're
Horned
not demons,
devils.
right? The horned devils.
They're
We've
horned
seen
devils.
horned devils
horned
before.
devils.
The white ones are new. No,
Ice
they don't
devils?
sound.
Question mark?
They don't sound like ice devils. which
Nimra,
more
you
were-
can make
were more insectoid.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
you
if I
can
could
make
check.
a history or arcana check, your choice. DC's pretty low for you, but still.
I have a +9 to either, so I'll just. say
Ooh,
Arcana.
+9.
Okay, that is a 14 on the dice, so a 23.
Bone devils.
Ah.
Oh.
So Nimra is going to flip through their research tomes that they've been very steadily doing the devil anatomy in, and is going to pull up some artwork of at least the horn devil. Did it look something like this?
That's just about it, yes.
I haven't encountered a bone devil, which is what it sounds like the other might be. I haven't encountered one yet, so I don't have a listing. But it sounds like that's what we might be up against.
What, I imagine 4 remaining. You all probably dispatched of a few, yes?
We were able to deal with 2 of them.
One
both,
of each?
Both the white kind.
Okay. That is... if you don't mind me asking, what is the casualty report on your side? Did you lose anybody in the conflict?
We lost 2 people.
And how many
Out of
were
a-
in your party?
Total force of about 10.
That is a rough ratio. I'm sorry. Okay. What can you tell us of? Obviously, you have brought us in to help with this, but what can you tell us of the other incursion, the one that you and your people have regularly been dealing with?
Well, that is purely the elementals that come from the roiling elemental corruption that Thordak left behind when the Groma Conclave took over. Frequently, all manner of fire elementals and a more, unique, in my experience, kind of elemental. These, what we've generally referred to as cinder slag elementals, large molten rock and slag coalescing together. We haven't really seen that kind of elemental beyond the lands tainted by Thordak. It seems something unique in what his magic and his corruption left behind that seems to create them. But we've also seen a number of fire elementals, myrmidons, that sort of thing.
And this attack by the devils, it was not in coordination with the elements, right? We are talking about two separate groups, or have you seen joining of forces?
As far as we're aware, no. Though when we were attacked, it was sudden. We were as we engage in our work, we go in these groups, usually no more than 10, sometimes smaller, and we make our way through the tunnels beneath the city, try to find particularly hot spots, pardon the pun, of this fire elemental sort of corruption. It always leaves behind. There's always the tunnels are, relatively speaking, not deep enough to really see a lot of magma, but there's always magma there. There's always, of course, the constant flow of elementals coming from it, and a very strong presence of elemental magic around it. And it takes a lot of effort, generally. The way we go about it, our teams go in, we do reconnaissance, track them down, try to clear them out, and then call in more of us to begin the effort of trying to seal, clean away this corruption, as it were, to prevent more of them from coming. But it spreads, and it spreads quickly, so hence why we've had less success in containing, and most in healing, and are mostly just containing it.
Understandable. Did Miss Vysoren tell you specifically what we were after? Did she elaborate on the working theory? It is fine if she didn't.
Taka just caught what I was doing.
As is. Wait, sorry. Whoop. I got lost in my train of thought. Back up.
Yeah,
Repeat your question. Sorry.
Did Miss Vysoren expand upon specifically what we're doing, what our working theory is?
She gave me a brief rundown. Said you could explain if needed. That there's potentially something the devils are looking for down here. This, the crystal, the anchor, or the pieces of it.
That is exactly right. And we were hoping perhaps you might, as you and your kin know these tunnels well enough, that perhaps you could get us to that location before they get there.
Of the anchor.
That is the best we have. It makes zero sense as to why else they would be here, unless you have some other plan. They have not attacked the city. They have not gone after the council. They have headed to the Undercity. The only thing of significance we can think of is the place in which Thordak fell.
The problem is less... Well, It's not really in any one place, and we don't really know where it is. When he fell, it scattered the city. At the time, the city was a pit of molten rock and magma and lava overflowing on itself. It's, for all we know, it's not even there. It could have all melted into nothing in the lava while it was still flowing. When he died, it didn't all immediately disappear. And a creature of his size, of his power, it was quite a lot of work that needed to be done. And at least from what I know, I wasn't there at the very beginning. I've been part of ongoing efforts of containment here, but from what I know, it's not like it was ever found, or it's not like pieces of it were plucked from the lava.
So,
The fact that it could still exist is really a surprise.
so you and your kin have not seen anything out of the ordinary. Nothing that would indicate ambient, plane or elemental power, primal fire. Nothing. Nothing sticks out
Well,
to you.
Yes, all of the rifts that exist down there that we're constantly trying to close. Maybe it is the anchor. Maybe the anchor is, or the pieces of it are causing them. That might be a good working theory, but it's not really one we've ever considered. We've mostly just been chasing down these tears, these rifts, and trying to seal them as best we can. It's been a constant back and forth. We take one out, two spring up, we take them out, one more comes. It's a constant cat and mouse.
Okay, then our plan, and Rick will look to the rest of his group, sort of like raise an eyebrow, furrow his brow a little bit, as if he's thinking a little bit too hard. Then our working plan is no longer a plan. Theron, the location where you all were attacked, is that secure at the moment? Can you show us that space?
That's where we're taking you.
Good, okay.
We're sort of set up there, kind of holding the line in case they come back that way, but as is, after we fought them off, they went deeper in. And we didn't want to follow without reinforcements.
I'm sorry, deeper in?
Deeper into the caverns.
So they are further into the caverns. You are closer to the surface.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Yes. The location, the front line, as it were, would be
Right.
lovely. That is where we will start.
And yeah, he'll start continue leading you on. We'll lead you out beyond the city limits, and we'll kind of circumnavigate a bit. And as he goes, kind of explain that there's various sort of entry points in around the city. We keep them all mostly well guarded, and you'll pass by a couple, and almost around the edge of the city, you see various kind of little encampments that lead to usually openings, little at the mouth of a cave or kind of around it. There's just little fortifications, and there's a number of people who are dressed rather similarly to him, and they're just kind of like a camp that's set up there. At a couple, in the amount of time you spend going around, you see maybe 2 or 3 of these little openings that are watched over by them. And eventually gets around to one of these, and he kind of like waves a hand at some of the people who are there, who wave back and give you all kind of acknowledgement, little nods. And he'll just kind of point ahead into the cave that goes in, and just, this way. Hope you're comfortable walking. It's a couple miles.
Walking, not a problem. Small caves, A little bit of a different problem.
It gets bigger very quickly. And we'll start leading you in. And the mouth of the cave itself is about 15 feet high and about 10 feet across. And he'll start leading you in. And maybe 5 or 10 minutes in, it widens to about 20 feet across and about 25 feet high. And it stays that way for a good amount. And you'll pass through several larger open spots, like bigger caverns that spiral out into that lattice out into a web of other caves and caverns and open spaces. Pass by underwater pools of water and just all the sort of kind of trappings you'd expect in a cave, like a very natural cave formation that runs for quite a while. And he has you walking down this way for a good amount of time, close to roughly an hour, you might say, until and you do occasionally you'll get a bit of a noticeable incline, and the cave will widen again until eventually the tunnels you're traveling through are some, it's always rough. It's not ever very exact. These are not clean hewn, but they vary from about 25 to 35 feet across, 25 to about 35 feet high. And we'll eventually come to this point that opens up into a large circular cavern, maybe like 60 feet across. And you see in here, at the other end, where there's a large mouth to another cave, there are about 7 more people, all set up with a large sort of clearly constructed barricade of rock. And you see a couple of them are kind of like casting with their hands, and there's trails of fire along their fingertips as they do it, kind of lifting and reinforcing this wall of rock as they go. There's a section of it that's still open, but they're essentially building it up with layers. And as they're kind of continuing to work on this and do this, he will approach the one, or up to one of them. I just kind of wave down, and you see there's a halfling, who a small female halfling, maybe like 3'4", 3'5", dressed in similar attire as him, with like a kind of with a little top knot going on, and she'll kind of quickly pat her over, and she comes up. Theron, you're back. Hello, hi, and he just, Tilly, this is our help. Miss Vysoren sent for us. And she's, oh, hello, good, yes, hi. My name's Tilly. Pleasure to meet you. Good to see we've got help. It's quite harrowing. Hopefully you're capable. I understand you're devil killers a bit, yes?
Rick just nods. Yeah.
Okay,
Something
good.
like that.
We've got devils for you to kill then. Yeah. And they'll both kind of lead you over, and we'll stop at sort of the small opening that's still there. And she'll keep going. She'll just... So, they continued going down that way. Issue is here. We don't know how far. We don't know what they were going for. And... we don't know where exactly they are. This is a network of caves. They could be really anywhere, but they're also devils. I feel there must be some sort of way to keep track of them. Hopefully you're capable, but hopefully they're also not too far. Theron told me what Miss Vysoren suggested might be their objective. It's dangerous. And there's only a couple of them left, and you outnumber them. And I mean, if you're devil killers, I'm sure hopefully you'll be okay. And he just, Theron will interject and just, I'm sure you will be. It's, well, point being, We are here to support you, but for what it's worth, we need to stay here. These things, as far as we know, there's a rough map of the higher levels of these caverns, and this is a bit of a choke point. We need to be ready if they come back, if they try to make their way to the surface. This opening is here for you, and it'll be here for you when you come back, but if there's a trail of devils behind you, we're going to try to close it. At least to stall them. And it's, not to be all doom and gloom about it, but just to be clear, we're here to stop the elementals from rampaging through the city, and they still do sometimes. We really don't want to add devils to the mix, so, hey, I trust you though. They're devil killers and all. I'm sure it'll be fine. If needed, if it's that bad, come running. We can help if we need to, but hopefully it won't be necessary.
We appreciate that. Hopefully, we can live up to our end of this whole thing and not have to flee. But we appreciate whatever help we can provide. So they've put up this wall, right? Do we have to get through that, or did they point down like a smaller, narrow?
Essentially, a little doorway that they've left, anticipating someone to come to head in, that they are going to keep open, but they're basically going to have all of them on standby to seal it if something comes running this way.
Of course.
All right.
Do we want some reconnaissance?
Yeah, put his ass to work.
Some little...
Put his fucking ass to work, damn it. No more free rides. Everybody pulls their weight. I know his isn't much, but he can pull it.
With a wave of their hand.
Wait, should we actually go in before we summon a small devil on this side of the rock wall? No, that doesn't make any sense. Absolutely not. Nimra just no, absolutely not. Nimra would just wave their hand and out comes, Jersey Boy or whatever.
The situation.
Hey, Bali!
You will hear in your head, are you guys talking about me?
Yeah.
Do I got something to do?
Yes, Scoot, I do require your assistance and your ability to be unseen and
a little spider on your shoulder.
Oh yeah, that's right, he's a spider.
Like right here?
Absolutely.
And
Why else would I call for you?
Okay, is this like invisible or like?
Preferably.
Okay, and the spider will turn into a raven and then go invisible, and then you'll hear flap 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 as it starts like flying off, and then you hear it flap 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 come back. Where am I going? What am I looking for? I forgot to ask.
I'm imagining him saying flap 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 flap.
He definitely did.
Flap 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 flap. Flying is fun.
We require some reconnaissance on the other side of this wall.
Recon.
There should be a total of 4 devils on the other side, if you can help us discern the location discreetly.
Alrighty. Discreet is my middle name. I got this.
Scoot Discreet, the Imp Commander.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what do I tell you where they are?
I did not think I had to say that out loud.
I'm just making sure. All right. And how far do I go? Do I just keep going until I find them, or what? It's like, where are we?
Several miles underground.
All right, cool. And is this like a straight shot? Do I whatever? I'll figure it out. Off he goes. And yeah, you hear his flapping dissipate into the distance. He's gone.
Don't worry, Archivist. I'm sure he'll get better at it. He's not going to get any better at this.
What was that?
I don't know what I'm expecting.
Is that like a familiar?
Yes.
You're like a wizard then, yeah? I always thought wizard familiars were really cool.
Oh my gosh, it's a fangirl.
Aww.
This is
would
gonna get weird.
Nimra think Scoot is cool?
No, I don't think so.
He's useful. He's not
Does
cool.
Nimra think anything is cool? Has Nimra ever said that's cool in their entire life?
I don't know. Check the tapes. They might have.
I
at
feel
some
like there
point.
was a point that it might have happened.
Yeah, they might have.
But they were definitely referring to the temperature of the food Rick was providing them.
Very lukewarm, very cool.
Now, question. How long do you wait for Scoot?
Oh, I don't think terribly long, right? If there's no immediate screaming, like Rick is already in the door, right? He doesn't want to be on this side. Should something happen, he wants to be on the other side. As soon as Scoot goes through, if there's no immediate like screeching of small imps, Rick's gonna step to the other side of the wall.
Okay, and remind me, Nimra, what's the range on your telepathic communication with your familiar?
Only 100 feet.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, he's gonna be out of range, I presume. He
he's
won't
gonna
able to
be
say
gone
anything
for a
until later.
while. So, like, yeah, I need to know. I need a rough idea. How long you wait before deciding to do something.
Are we waiting? Because I feel
Nimra
pretty
would be.
comfortable, even with him invisible, I can keep us just within communication range.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. Above table.
Yeah.
You just want him 100 feet ahead of you.
Well, Rick can probably hear the flapping of wings.
He's the canary
Flap, flap,
in
flap,
the.
flap, flap.
He's the
I
canary
have
in
a.
the coal
I
mine.
currently have a
Oh.
passive perception of 27.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Then 2 important questions. 1, what's your marching order? 2, are you trying to be discreet in your movements?
Front and yes.
Okay, Rick in the front.
I think Rick's out front. Oh wait. It's a cave.
It's a big cave, though. Remember, it's like
Mhm.
30 feet across and like
That's
30 feet
fine.
high.
Is it lit?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick can't see. Mel's
Rick can't
got her
see.
hand on your shoulder.
Got it.
She's next to you.
Thanks, Mel.
Nimra also can't see.
She's like 60 feet out.
Do we want light?
That gives away the stealth element, doesn't it?
But then we also have multiple blind people, which is a little dangerous.
If
I mean, if we're trying to
One
be
of you-
quiet.
If one of you does not mind leading me ahead, I'll try to sneak to the best of my ability, but I will not have my eyes open anyways. I'll be looking through scoots to get an idea of what's happening ahead.
Oh, interesting.
Because familiars can you can look through
Yeah.
your familiar's eyes.
How far ahead can Scoot be from us?
Not that far. I'd say maybe about 100 feet or so.
Enough that we'd have advance warning to put out our lights, if need be?
Yes,
Yeah.
probably. Considering that he is invisible as well. I would be able to see something on the horizon. He has dark vision. I do not.
I can summon just a very small radius of light, if you think that is better than a large one. It wouldn't be much light, but it would be enough
Enough
that
to-
you would be able to see before you plummet to your death in some sort of cavern.
I have dark vision, but I'd like it if all our party made it through this, so Maybe just a little light. And then, if we have to put it out quick, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, and then I forget that Scoot also has Devil's Sight, so even if this darkness was magical, he'd still be able to see. So technically, Nimra can
Ooh.
see very well,
Oh!
120
good.
feet.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, wild difference between those. That I have to imagine that has to be disconcerting for them. As somebody who is not accustomed to seeing in the dark, suddenly being able to see double what most people can see in the dark probably has to be kind of crazy. Probably
It is.
disorienting.
It very much is. I missed something on my character sheet. Whoops.
Okay.
What'd
So-
you miss?
Okay, above table. Because Rick's not going to play it out. Above table, Rick has dark vision out to 120 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
This whole time?
Ruins, no.
Since
Ruins,
when?
Ruins
Oh,
Wake.
because
gives
Ruins
him
Wake is
dark vision.
awakened.
Oh.
So that's new.
That's new. But Rick has been traveling so long with Huxley and Mal, and they're aware that he can't see in the dark, and he's not ready to give that up yet.
Okay.
Mm.
But yeah,
God.
obviously, you will have obviously noticed as soon as you entered the cave that you were seeing everything in grayscale
Yeah.
for a good amount. So yeah, you
Yeah, yeah.
obviously know. I gotta add that to your token.
Regardless, then Huxley will use his little artificer tinkering to just take like one of the little doodad, like a little button or something from his a pin or something from his pocket, and fiddle with it until it glows, and it's just a 10-foot radius, 5-foot dim, 5-foot bright, just a little tiny thingy, so Rick can see himself even though he can't see.
Wait,
Pin it
hang
on
on.
his jacket.
All right, you can add it to the token, but I'm looking at it now, and we don't have time to work it out now. There's an additional caveat.
Well, what is it?
It's the fact that Ruins Wake has dark vision out to 120 feet.
Like in addition to you mean? Or only when you're holding it?
We can talk about it once it's over, but I'm fairly certain, because I communicate telepathically with the spear can see out to 120 feet.
What
I'm
the
not
fuck?
sure. I'm not sure Rick can. We can
yeah.
hash this out later. We're not going to hash it out now.
The very basics is the wording grants you, or because that's pretty straightforward. Whether to turn, I'll look at the thing and I'll decide before you get to the battle
look
map.
at it.
But yeah.
Wait a second. We can't just let you drop that.
said, I told you earlier, hey, just in case I made a battle map. If it comes up, I'll make sure to know what your token can see before you get there.
You weren't
Doesn't mean
supposed to
we'll
say
use it.
that. That was before we started recording. I'm trying to create like a
Oh. Was it before we started recording?
Yes.
Just edit it
Yeah,
out.
we
Edit
did.
it out.
No, I'm leaving it in. So,
Yeah,
As
that
you
would be
continue on.
extra work to edit it.
yeah, exactly. So, anyway, as you go on, I still need to know, what is your precise marching order here?
Yeah. Rick's still.
You have room to go all side by side if you want, all in a line. Just give me an idea you set up, the six of you.
I think I'm not in front, but towards the front.
Okay.
I think Nimra has to be pretty close to the front regardless to stay within that 100-foot range for Scoot, depending on how far back we are. Which means somebody needs to be their seeing eye dog.
I love the idea of like Nimra holding onto Rick, holding onto Mel.
Get that.
I'm
The conga line.
leader.
Or like
Mhm.
Nimra's like hanging on to Rick, right? Like you do with a kid. Like they're just like piggyback ride. Nimra piggybacking on Rick, who's being led by Mal. Or Mel.
It's all the everybody's so tall too. That has to look
I know.
hilarious.
It's
You've got a
ridiculous.
gangly
This-
little alien on your
Incredible.
And I took it to understand you are trying to be stealthy about it, yes?
Yes, we're trying to be at least still a week.
Okay. Then,
I think
Okay.
Seal's gonna be in the back.
okay.
I can be in
Uh,
front of
He's good.
Seal since Seal makes a good wall in case we're ambushed.
Okay.
real.
Alright, yeah, Mel will also go near the front as well. Okay, then go ahead and make a group stealth check, everyone.
Oh, thank God, group.
Alright.
Roll.
We got that.
I will cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
Good.
How long does that
couldn't be
last?
worse.
1 second.
I thought it was like one.
It's
Oh, it was a long
concentration
one.
up to an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was longer.
I'm gonna go ahead and type this out for me. That gives Melancholy a 31. Huxley, what'd you get?
A 16.
Damn, that's with the plus 10?
Yep.
Yeesh. Nimra, what'd you get?
19 with
Okay,
the plus 10.
Mal?
26.
Seal?
Dirty 20.
And Rick.
16.
Damn, I smoked y'all real bad. Okay, cool.
We're not a stealthy
alright.
group.
No.
But even
I
with
was
that
really
bonus,
hoping
that's
for
crazy.
for Boots of Elven Kind at
Mm-hmm.
Gilmore's shop, and it wasn't there, and I was like, ah.
Wait, items that we from the previous episode. Does that matter right now?
No, I don't think any of them help with stealth, as far as I
It-
remember.
It gives me advantage
I'm
on
talking
perception checks.
I'm talking about for combat.
Oh, like in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a
Is
plus
that
one
something
shield.
is that something that should be equipped right now? Because I know I said at the beginning. Item. Hehe XD.
No, from what I mentioned when I said I was dumb and I forgot to set up the things in D&D Beyond, they shouldn't affect this combat drastically. It's not if there is one. Of course.
I forget what it even does. It was something about using your arcane or your arcana modifier for something.
Yeah.
You could
my bad.
teleport.
Oh, yours was, yeah.
Mine
yours
was
Yeah.
some sort of resistance.
Yeah, because I just
My
Gorgor.
bad. Okay, so that's a total. That's a 21 average.
Oh, nice.
I forgot. Nim, roll me for Scoot, please.
Oh yeah.
With
okay,
advantage.
He gets the +5 to stealth too, if
Mhm.
I recall
Ooh.
correctly.
And he's definitely out of range of the pass without a trace. So.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be whatever the hell I roll. Let me grab a second.
With advantage 'cause
35.
he's invisible.
That would be the worst, wouldn't it? If, like, it turns
Oh
out
my.
Scoot really is, like, some sort of super spy.
What a roll! What a fucking roll! I'm
Yeah?
glad it was with advantage. Because on one dice it was a 4 on the die. On the other dice it was a natural 20.
All right.
Man.
Natural 20
So-
for 25.
Yeah, 25.
Okay. So, Mal, as you cast with that pass without a trace, you're all enveloped in these shadows, darker still already as you go. You're pretty confident that you are not easy to spot. And you're going for a while. And still going. And still going. And going deeper and going lower. There is a point where you have to stop and navigate down. Like there's like a sudden steep drop about 10 feet. You have to kind of stop, carefully go down, help yourselves down. Nimra, as you look through Scoot's eyes, he sees ahead and there's nothing but cave. Eventually it opens up into a big cavern, but there's only one on the other side. He keeps going through. And Mal, you can feel approaching the tail end of your spell. Maybe
Okay.
like between the 40-50 minute mark. Nimra, you can see through Scoot's eyes the faintest bit of orange, reddish, yellowish light in the distance. Beyond his dark vision, there's like a view of grayscale, then a patch of darkness, and a dot in that darkness of that light.
They are going to try to keep their voice pitched a little bit lower and whisper. Stop. I'm beginning to see something. The light in the distance. We're getting close. And if they're within that 100 feet, they're going to silently tell Scoot to hold for a second. Stay in place.
Got it.
What do we have any preparations that we need to do before we continue on?
No.
Huxley will cast Armor of Agathis on himself and just whoosh, little icy breastplate.
I figured Hux would want to do that.
Armor of Agatha?
Yeah.
Real.
I can't believe we haven't done that.
I know.
And that does that have a duration on it, or is it just till it's?
I think it's
used
an hour, if I remember
got it.
correctly. So if we're within walking distance, I assume, so I think that should be
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Are we getting ready? All right. And then she'll just kind of like dump out the echo, which kind of just stands with a halberd next to her.
Oh, I keep forgetting. It seems I was going to talk. Oh, 1 second. I was going to do this the other night, but it seemed in poor taste. Nimra, would you like to sign my book?
I will try my best. And they're going to motion with their one free hand that their eyes are currently closed.
Oh yeah.
Just, if somebody can go into my pack, I'll try my best to sign, and if it's you can hold your book.
Huxley will just hold up a little bit of fire, little fire one hand, book in the other.
They can't. Their eyes are closed. They're looking through Scoot's eyes.
Oh, that's
still.
true. That's true. Then we will blindly grope. Oh no, yeah, we'll look around for the the pen. Just excuse me, pardon me. Just
Make a dexterity check, Nimmer, because it's funny.
Just a check, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 13.
Okay. It's legible.
Okay.
I do have. Who do I have? I think I honestly just have. All right. Yeah, I have. Mal has signed my book. Agatha signed Huxley's name for him, and I imagine that it looks much nicer than his handwriting. And now Nimmer has signed it. I have one more spot. This is for my shared use of Death Ward, that I keep forgetting that I have. Ah, Mikey, no! No. I'll turn to the other three. Huxley doesn't know about the letter that Rick got, and he said no, but would either of... Would you like to sit on the perch? Okay, there you go. Sit on the perch. Don't knock over my camera! Okay. There we go. Would the rest of you like to sign? I have only one more spot for the moment, but if anybody is particularly worried about having a particularly difficult combat, is anybody wanting to sign my book?
Don't understand. What is happening?
Sorry, it's just sometimes I forget to have conversations, and I have them with myself, and this is the only sort of really protection that I can provide the group. It can stave off death for a moment, I suppose, and it might have been useful back a couple days ago, but I'm remembering it now, and I think the people who are more prone to injury have signed the book, so that's probably what matters.
Rick's gonna look to Celiana well, he's not going to look because he can't see, but in the general direction. Oh, wait, melancholy's actually. It's actually, yeah. He's, I guess, just going to say out to the blackness. Well, do either of you fear death?
I've already died once.
As have I, but I've already signed it.
Seal is gonna go for the pen, but she's gonna sign Mel's name.
Are you trying to do that, like, without her seeing?
No, she just doesn't care. She's
Okay.
like, yeah, I'll take this opportunity.
Is she paying attention? Nope.
Oh shit, does that work?
We're going to find out.
Signing somebody else's name?
Yeah.
I can send the text of the feature to the GM and they can decide.
Sure.
Real and true.
So slick.
We'll decide when it matters.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Didn't like that one.
Oh,
Frankly.
that's awesome.
This is gonna go great, you guys.
It's fine.
Listen, we've all survived up to this point. What's one more combat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Okay.
this is just from a scientist, right? Strictly database point of view, right? The data has shown that every combat we've gotten into, we've gotten out of, right? Some of us
Yes.
have gotten closer than others, right? And technically dead, but 6 in, 6 out, right? I think the numbers are on our side here.
We say, as pretty soon the numbers might not be on our side.
It'll be fine.
Also, for confirmation, after actually reading it, Rick, you definitely cannot still see. It is the spear that can see.
It is
not
the
you.
spear. I know. I looked at it too. Yeah, it is. It does not give me dark vision. Rune's Way can just hear and see up to
That's
120 feet.
weird as hell.
Yep.
With no
It's a sentient
eyes.
weapon. So, like,
It's not concerning.
No,
It's fine. Everything's
so
fine.
normal.
you guys don't even know the damn thing's sentient yet. You just think
Nope.
Rick's hearing voices in his head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, is that done? What are you guys doing?
Sneaking towards the glow.
Forward march, yes.
Okay.
Nimra is going to command Scoot to stay where he's at while they reach to him, because I have a feeling it's going to be a smart idea if I use Scoot as my eyes and ears for this combat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You'll get up to him, and then do you want him to stay with you guys or keep going ahead?
Nope. Nimra is using him as eyes and ears at this point.
But is he staying next to you?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
On their shoulder.
So, then you'll continue on. He's still in the form of a raven, still invisible. You'll keep moving, and as you get slowly closer and closer, the dot grows larger and larger until you are just at the edge of
Good timing.
a rather spacious open cavern. It's not very large, but it goes up quite high, maybe like 80, 90 feet up. And from where you are, still shrouded by Mal's spell, but now the light and close enough to see clearly, there is a very large lake of lava. Rock outcroppings kind of around it. And you can see faintly from here, something's a little bit off about it. Give me perception checks and Those with no dark vision, give me perception checks with disadvantage, please.
Normal perception for Nimra, right? Because they're looking through Scoot.
Right, yes. You'd use Scoot's stats, actually, for that.
Oh, they have the same stats.
Okay.
That's a natural one.
Okay.
I got a natural 20, so that.
There you go.
Ah!
It's there.
That's a 17 on the dice for an 18 total.
22.
And you, Hux?
Oh, I rolled a 13.
Okay, got it. And so Seal, Rick, Nimra through Scoot,
Crazy.
and
Come here,
I am
Scoot.
Scoot.
Melancholy can all see the lava is flat, and then at a point it just dives. There's like in the center, you can see it basically because like from the angle you're looking at it, it's flat. But then you see there's like a huge divot in the middle before it flattens out on the other side. There's like a huge just indent in it.
So it's an indentation. It's not like a little lava fall or something.
From this angle, you can't really
It's hard to
tell.
tell.
But it
Okay.
could just drop off, or it could be some. But it just looks like it dips in the center.
Okay.
Do we keep going?
Yes, but very carefully.
Okay.
Archivist, may I have your hand?
And Nimra will extend their hand for Rick to grab.
Okay.
Melancholy
Alright.
will bring their hands together because neither of them can see.
There is a there's sort of a small pulse of light, and in the darkness you can actually see that the pulse starts at his necklace, his runic necklace, and then seems to like run through his body as if his veins are lighting up, and sort of it shoots through down through his hand and up into Nimra's blue skin, probably creating a more like crimson or purplish color.
Sick.
And there's Nimra probably feels, the only way to describe it is like it would feel like boiling, right? A small little boiling of blood that you can almost feel transfer, a little pulse of heat from his palm to yours. And he goes, okay, now we can move forward. I'm going to cast a warding bond on
I was
Archivist.
like, are you not going to say
Yeah,
what that
that's
was?
I figured.
Yeah.
That I knew the platinum ring was for something.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll start moving up. And Mal, at this point, you can feel you've got about 5 minutes left on Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
And as you enter in to the light, keeping to the darkest shadows at the edges of the cavern, now you can clearly see it goes, as the lava drops off harshly. There are rocks, outcroppings, and elevations in the cavern space that you could go up onto to see in if you want to. But that's the only oddity here. And you can see on the opposite side of the cavern another tunnel that keeps going.
Since I can see, I'd like to try before I lose Pass Without a Trace completely, to peek through one of those outcroppings.
Okay. You can get close enough from the edge, to do so without anyone falling out. Let's see.
I was gonna say, if Mal says it out loud, Nimra would send Scoot the other way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You can use Scoot to also look in. And the both of you will see, when you get to that bit of elevation, that it just plummets. Down. Maybe 200 feet before there's just an opening at the bottom of solid rock. Like someone's just cut a chunk of the lava out and taken it out. And at the very bottom, there is cracked, scorched earth, stone, and only actually, both of you give me perception checks, actually. It's kind of hard to see, so.
Yep, that tracks. 8 total. That's more Nimra.
22.
Mal, you can see, just barely make it out. Just barely. Very faintly at the bottom, in these cracks, a slowly fading, dim red light. Starting to fade away as this space at the bottom, where this earth cracks, almost like something was punched into it and it cracked outwards. These cracks are just very faintly glowing on their own, separate from the light of the lava around them, and that glow is fading.
Nimra, can you see that?
See what?
At the bottom. It's all cracked and glowing.
I don't gotta go down there, do I?
Oh, if you insist.
I'm so fucking stupid. Oh, right. Flap. Down. It is really fucking hot in here. I don't like this. And he'll just shift back into an imp. Still invisible, but he's an imp now. And just all the way down. He'll stay floating above the ground and like looking around. And it's almost like it's harsh how bright it is on your eyes. It hurts. But he kind of gets closer and you can see a web of cracks in the earth and a little red glow that's slowly fading.
Does that seem natural or magical?
Yeah, that's my question also.
Make a nature or arcana check.
Make an arcana. Actually, holy shit, I forget. Nimra has a +9 to nature as well.
Ooh.
From the scouts.
Yeah.
I am going to use my hero point. My inspiration.
Sneaky.
Because
Yeah,
I rolled
that's right.
I rolled a natural 1, so I'm gonna use that to reroll
Forgot I
it.
gave that to you.
Yeah.
Go for it.
For the date.
Okay. Yeah. That's way better. 29
All right.
with a natural 20.
Whoa. From a nat 1 to a nat 20.
What a whiplash.
Ah,
What about you, Mel?
I got an 18.
Okay. So, yeah. I mean, you didn't need a 29, but you needed a lot, so it helps. Yeah, you kind of sit there and just have Scoot look for a moment and get closer and scan it over. And this is not natural. And the way it's shaped, the way it's formed, it's definitely not natural, but what exactly it is, I mean, you got a fucking natural 20. Like, mostly, so ascertaining that much from the way it's shaped, from the way it's formed, and the kind of structure around it, and Nimra has decent insight. It almost looks like something has been removed from here. the center point of these cracks is like a hole, a gap that looks like something could have been pulled out of.
Scoot's there, right?
Yeah.
I know that I can use a familiar as a means to cast magic, but I don't remember if it's only touch magic.
It's touch magic only, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so detect magic technically would not work. Damn. Okay.
Wait, what's the range on detect magic? Isn't it self?
It's self. Let's
Self and touch
old...
are two different ranges.
Yeah. A familiar use.
Rick touches himself all the time.
I mean, so does Mel, but you know, it's like they're different kinds of things.
Sorry, y'all. It
Yeah,
was
detect
like
magic is centered on
soft
you.
I appreciate you setting me up for that.
Listen, you got it, bud.
Girl power. Anyway.
Detect magic is centered on the caster, not the familiar.
Yeah.
Scoot would be able to deliver a shocking grasp, but not
Yes,
as
he
much
would.
else. But Nimra's spell attack, that would be crazy. Yeah, so they can't do anything. They're going to say...
Oh. Wait, I forgot what I mentioned, actually.
Something.
He's too far for you to look through his eyes. It goes
Oh.
200 feet down.
Oh.
I just said that, and I
So-
just totally blanked that's past your limit. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I already gave that. You already rolled, like, you got it. I won't take back the information you got, but
Maybe Nimra
we'll say
gets it
that
from Scoot
he noticed it from just the
describing
edge.
it.
Because his dark vision does get that far, and there's light from the lava. So, you got that information that much, but you can't see that close.
Okay. Maybe Scoot gives Nimra a description of it too, if he does fly down
Yeah.
closer, and they're able to rack their head for like, oh wow, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Since that natural 20, all that it gave me was that it wasn't natural and that it looked like something was taken out. And I think that's a pretty fair thing to assume just from it being described as well.
Yeah.
That's odd. I wasn't able to see much through Scoot's eyes, but he was able to communicate telepathically when he looked a little closer that there are some cracks in the lava. Is that what you were talking about, Mel?
Yeah.
He said, the way he described it to me, it almost looked like something was missing. Something was taken. Didn't look natural from what I could tell. What little I was able to see. And I don't think I can get in close enough to check to see if it's magical in nature. Not without sacrificing my vision.
I could only just make it out, but no, it didn't look natural to me either.
If something was taken, where did it go?
My guess? The fortification at the 9th layer of hell.
If they've already left the area or left the premises. Otherwise, we have to continue looking.
We definitely
might
need to
be
keep
lucky.
looking.
Is there any evidence that creatures have come through this way? I know we haven't really looked.
Make a survival check. Boss, can I come out of here? It's uncomfortable.
Yes, please back to my shoulder.
Are you good luck? We're just gonna rub the dice on the cat.
Oh, good luck, dice.
What? At least one of these cats is good luck.
I think they're all good luck, frankly.
Well,
One of them's gotta be.
I can't
Exactly.
see, right? So there's no way I can aid in
Well,
this.
you
helping-
can see well because of the light of the
Oh,
lava.
wait.
All the way down
great.
there, and for like 40 feet, 50 feet around it, you can see just fine.
Awesome.
I keep
so
forgetting. Scoot
Go
could be giving aid as well.
um May I look as
Yeah.
well for evidence of?
Yeah, you can either make a
Things-
survival check or give Huxley advantage, or you can
Oh,
take advantage.
Huxley's not an outdoorsman. He did not join the scouts, and I didn't roll badly, but it wasn't a great roll anyway. So I rolled
Okay.
a 13.
I'll take my own.
Okay.
That is an 11 plus 6. That's 17.
Okay. So you scour the space around it, and there is not like footprints or anything. This is rock here. There's not really soft earth to make footprints and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you do find, without too much effort, along the edges of this pit of lava, faint traces of, there's this kind of dust in little lines, little patches, spots around it. And you kind of like, this isn't like stone dust, this isn't like just, this is some kind of, it's some kind of powder. And Huxley, you working with magic are at least somewhat familiar. This is not too dissimilar from the sorts of, on occasion, the sorts of materials you might use in spellcasting. And it reeks. It smells terrible. You touch it with your fingers to get a sense for its feel, and the stench lingers on your fingers.
Between myself and the archivist, is there any way we could potentially figure out what kind of spell this component was used for?
You're able to touch it, right?
Yeah.
Nimra's gonna walk up, and if you're making this noticeable, cast detect magic.
Yeah. When you do, by now the Pass Without a Trace has faded. The shadow kind of enveloped around you has dissipated. Nimra, you cast this spell, and what is the range on it? 30 feet?
30 feet.
All around you, up to about 10 feet out from the pit, or from the lava, 30 feet around you, there is a very, very faint magical or...
Ooh.
Hello?
Fuck was that?
I know.
I saw everybody jump. What the fuck? What the hell was that? Who
I
pressed
think you were
something?
detecting magic.
Yeah.
Man,
that was
What
if you had
magic.
What?
Ooh.
if you had just rolled, like if you had just rolled through that, we all would have assumed it was you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
thought it was
it's
you.
the same as when I marked the robot as dead. There's random things in Foundry
Yeah,
that
oh my
have sound
God.
effects attached, and they're so loud. Oh
It's
my
the
god!
modules you use.
Jesus.
Everybody went. Sick nothing. Anyway,
I assumed you were doing it for dramatic effect.
no.
You found dun dun
Oh god! You
devil
find
cocaine.
10 feet out, all around the lava pit as far as the range reaches. And if you walk around, you'll continue to see it. A very, very faint, magical aura that is slowly fading. And how long does it last, Detect Magic?
It's a concentration up to 10 minutes.
In the next about 2 minutes, it fades completely. And
Well,
then
it's
Let us
you
know what
hear...
school of magic?
Yes, it is. I always forget which names we mean what. Let me briefly Google what they mean so I can tell you correctly. And
Real.
Chronomancy.
as
God. I fucking cried.
Dunamancy.
as it's happening, there's actually two things you sense. Let me see. Wait, no, there's one. So you sense, and as I look this up, you also all suddenly hear, like, and you notice the whole in the lava start to fill in. And the lava starts
Oh!
and the level of the lava lowers as it starts to fill in the spot that was emptied.
Cool.
And
Uh-huh.
Is
The-
there another way in or out of this, Kevin?
Yeah, there's another cave on the other end of it. Got it. It is transmutation.
Ooh. Okay.
And it fills in. The level of lava lowers quite significantly. And the magical aura is gone.
What in tarnation would be fucking transmutation magic for this? Can I try to make a check to see if Nimra would recognize what spell based off of the the transmutation magic? And the fact that it dispelled after a minute?
You can make an Arcana check, and then based on that, I'll have you make an Insight check also.
Okay.
Could I aid Nimra?
Yeah. With the Arcana check, yeah. Go for it. You can give
Okay.
them advantage or do it yourself also.
I'll give you advantage.
Good, because I needed that. That's a 21.
Okay. And now give me an Insight check.
That's quite a bit better. Well, quite a bit better on the dice. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
Okay. Perfect. So, a specific spell, you're not sure. Nothing comes to mind. But knowing what you know about how this magic is used, it not really being your area of expertise, but you know about it, and judging by the environment, the way things were reacting, what happened, it is not a stretch that this was something they used to push the lava out of the way. And that as the lingering magic faded, it collapsed back in on itself.
Mm-hmm.
This was some kind of ritual specifically designed to alter the properties of the lava. Does that mean it was pushed out of the way? More likely that it was shifted in its shape, molded, maybe solidified long enough to hold it at bay. And judging by the way it runs the length of this was a complicated, powerful ritual that probably took several of them to do.
So was the empty space like a path towards the next exit, or was it just like a hole
The empty space at the bottom of the thing?
where the lava filled in?
It was so. Wait, I'm not sure what you're asking. It's a path to the next. Like, what do you mean?
Because you described the lava being pushed out of the way. I think what we're trying to figure out is like, is it preventing us from getting to the other side, or is it essentially like a pool of lava that was kind of like?
Yes. So there is the cavern. In the middle was the pool of lava that had a big pit in it. But on the opposite side of the cavern, you can walk around the pit. There's a cave that keeps going.
Got it. So there was a pool of lava in the middle. They did some sort of ritual to essentially cause the lava to, like,
move so they could get to the
Red
bottom.
Sea, so they could get to the bottom and pull something out of the bottom.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is, but
And like you said, either leave or if they're still here, most likely move forward because they haven't gone back.
Right.
Okay, so there was like a split in the lava when we first got here.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
It's odd. They use some powerful magic I don't recognize. I don't know what they turned the lava into, but something to manipulate the lava so they could make that hole in it. This is recent, though. They might still be around.
with
That's
that,
what they came
Let's go.
for.
Rick is moving to the, because we already know which way we came. At the mention that it's recent, Rick, like, there's no conversation. He is on the move now, less stealthy than he was. Although he's going to get to the other side and realize there's no light. But
Real.
he's just moving. There's not a conversation anymore. He's on the move.
Are we doing so quietly?
Rick isn't.
Rick is not. Rick is moving.
As you go, start moving on. It's dark again. Not too long after the light from
Damn
the
it.
lava fades.
Real.
And in your similar marching order, you keep going. And now, if you keep on this, unless someone says otherwise, you are marching down this path for about the next 3 hours.
Ooh.
And before you see anything change.
Yeah, steady march.
And at about that 3 hour mark, you see again in the distance a dot of light. And in those 3 hours, you would have navigated through several more kind of open cavernous spaces. Part of the reason it took this long was because there were several splits and different passageways, and you might have gone down one, dead end, go back. Gone up another, oh, it's going upwards, that's not right, go back. So you definitely wasted a little time in navigating this place, but not too much. Especially mostly because as you go, after about 1 hour, Scoot's like, hey, they've been through here. I recognize the smell. It's not great, but I smell great. They don't usually smell great. And it's very faint, but it's just enough that when he loses it, he's able to go, go back. And after about 3 hours, you ascertain, if you had to do a little math, a little thinking, if you had gone straight, you've gone like solidly another like 5 or 6 miles.
God damn.
Yeah. Is there a pitch? Like, are we going down?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There is a certain point where the cave literally spirals downwards also more significantly, then mellows out, but it's definitely going downwards.
Are we passing through caverns similar to the first one we saw?
Yes,
Do they
but
have evidence like we saw of manipulation of lava pits?
you haven't seen any lava pits since the first one.
Okay.
There's like
Got it. Okay.
4 or 5 big open caverns like that don't have lava pits in them.
Okay. All right.
And that's when you see in the distance the light.
I think I
Yeah.
see something again.
Yeah, there's definitely something up ahead.
Well, we need to catch up.
Yep.
Are we just
on
going
your
in?
god.
Okay.
Rick sort of shield out in front, spear, like a one-man phalanx, right? Just like trying to be as big as possible and put as many people behind him as possible. But he's going to start to move forward in a semi-defensive position.
Mel, kind of next to you, will like link arms with her Echo and just like, let's do it.
Yeah, Seal
And-
moves up to the front from the back.
Okay.
Ooh, before we do anything else, how useful would it be for Nimra to cast Arcane Gate in case we need to make an expeditious escape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
How
have
far
to...
is?
500 feet.
Ooh.
It's a concentration spell,
It's-
though.
We'd have to get
Ah.
Mm.
And
Well-
Hux, do you turn out your little light?
Yeah, I'll turn it out. Now that we're closer.
We might be able to use that as an out.
Yeah. If you can hold the concentration.
Yeah.
which, I mean,
'Cause-
you've got quite a number of bonuses from Rick outside of whatever you have.
Yeah, an advantage to make Warcaster.
Warcaster.
Also,
And-
advantage on most saves, plus the. Actually, advantage on con, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, plus 6 to strength, plus 8 to dex.
Yeah.
How close do you get?
Um,
I don't like that question.
I mean, the obvious answer is like close enough to be able to make out forms,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
For you to make out forms, or for someone in your group to make out forms?
Yeah, that's a very good question. The realistic answer is close enough for me to make out forms,
Okay. Then as you approach,
which is tactically the wrong decision, but
give me perception checks, everyone, please.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Same as before, those without
Alright.
dark vision. Those without dark vision do it with disadvantage.
16 total.
15.
A 15.
21.
I got a natural 1 for 7.
Okay.
You don't have dark vision? Gwen?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I do. It wasn't advantage, it was just straight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
So, Rick and I believe Mal, you got a 16, and
I got a
16.
a 15. Who got a 16?
Nimra.
Nimra. The three
Crazy.
of you can see, and since we're following along, Rick's up ahead. To get close enough for him to see, you are. The light here is currently dimmer. The light from the lava does not reach as far, but you guys get maybe 60 feet from the lava pit until Rick is able to make out the shapes. Because you have to cut through the dark and then adjust to the light of the lava around it and see these silhouettes. And you can see from where you're standing, just barely, 4 forms. There's this lava pit misshapen and irregular, a heavy rock outcropping along one side, and in the center, a little rock island jutting out of the lava. And you can see, moving along the edge, 2 large shapes, low to the ground, almost on all 4s, spiked backs and 2 sets of wings, a long tail out the back, doing something, like kind of reaching in and putting something on the ground, reaching in, putting something and moving along the edge. Up on the rock outcropping, 1 large horned form, 2 large wings and tail, standing with a weapon in hand. And on the rock outcropping in the middle, another
Aster.
similar
Oh.
shape. Yeah. On the ground, with something faintly, dimly glowing and pulsing in its hand, that you can only just make out the shift of light amongst the light of the lava. And without moving anything, we're gonna move to the map now.
Does it look like they're casting a spell?
From what you can tell from here, it's hard to say. But you can definitely see them doing something.
Something. Oh.
would you like to do?
concentrating on detect magic anymore.
I see a bit of pulsing light, but I'm assuming that's from the lava. Which one is currently
Yeah,
holding?
the one in the center, in the middle of the lava, standing on the rock outcropping that's sticking out of the center.
And I can't see it on the map. How wide is this tunnel? Can we move laterally?
The tunnel you're currently in, it has, in the immediate space you're in, has narrowed. You cannot move laterally. Moving forward, it does open up a bit before it hits this open cavern. This is a smaller space for sure.
This is where we cast Bigby's hand at 6th level and use grasping hand to grapple a huge or smaller creature.
Yeah, would be certainly helpful.
Is that what you're doing?
I think if the archivist starts to cast a spell, because I assume it has verbal components. Rick can't see them, but I assume he can hear them. His
Verbal and somatic.
Perfect. His grip on his spear is in fact going to tighten. And I do believe, let me confirm, I have the ability to do such things.
I forgot to put Scoot in here. Hold on.
Oh no,
I was
Scoot.
gonna say, Scoot
Why
is
does-
gonna be
No, not
Nimra's
Scoot.
vision too.
Why does the sheet have the art, but the token doesn't? I'll fix it later. That's fine.
Scoot is also gonna be Nimra's vision.
I think I have the ability to do that. Rick's going to wait on the cue, but assuming this is going to combat, Rick will sort of change the his grip on his spear, going from sort of a more melee sort of grip to something that indicates that he's planning on tossing it. And then he'll wait for whatever's about to happen. He'll wait to take his cue from the archivist.
What are you waiting for? Do it.
And
Do
then
it.
Nimra actually did see, right? With that 16, which one is holding it?
Mm-hmm.
Bigby's hand is 120 feet. Yeah.
Yeah?
They
And go ahead.
All right.
The
Let me just
Rick's
do.
going to toss as well.
floating.
Let me do
so-
one thing
Mm-hmm.
for both of them. Let's see.
Ooh, lots of dice. Hopefully it's not their hit points.
Casting at 5th level. I forgot. We might need an arcane gate out of here, so probably should leave that that 6th level spell slot open.
As you prepare the spell and go to cast, Rick, you take your spear and go to Hawk.
Yeah.
Tua. One of them.
Whoa. Hey.
It was right there. The one with the
Realized. But I wasn't going to
the
let it
one
go.
with the-
I had
the
to call
one-
it.
the one with the stone, the thing, the object glowing in its hand, kind of on the ground, shoots up and its wings flare open. And that's where we're going to end the session tonight, preparing to roll initiative next week. Because you weren't stealthy, and it saw you. It's the only one that saw you, but it saw you.
That's all right.
So we'll see who gets off the first go. And we'll call it right there. Another fight incoming! Yes. Good vibes. We will win. For sure.
We got this. It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything is
Yeah.
fine.
Exactly. Do you think we'll win? We will. You do, because you support us so much.
And thank you
you
for that.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for being here. Wish them good luck and be here to see if they win, which they will, because we're so optimistic.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Goodbye. Good night. Good evening. Good day.
Bye.
Good morning.